Drive.
It's a big sports night here in downtown Cleveland, and Major League Baseball happening here at Progressive Field from the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. Tonight's game presented by Toyota. The Los Angeles Angels and the Cleveland Guardians start up a three-game series. Alongside Mark Gubas, I'm Wayne Randazzo, and Gooby, the Angels try to build off, ending their series in Toronto with a victory yesterday.
Yeah, Wayne, they swung the bats really well. By the way, welcome back, too. Some home runs. Joe Adell did his thing. Peraza swung the bat well. It felt good to see that balance in the lineup yesterday for the Halos. Going to need that against the Guardians here today.
Well, the Guardians certainly have one of the great players in their franchise's history playing third base. The Angels have the greatest player in their franchise history in center field. We'll see Mike Trout and Jose Ramirez matched up against one another.
It's always good when you see these two guys going at it, too. When you think about how long their careers, how productive their career. 11 All-Star games for Mike Trout, 7 for Jose Ramirez. You see those top 10, top 5 finishes at MVP. Trout with 3 MVPs, 415 career home runs, 291 for Ramirez. But Mike Trout, especially when you think about what Trouty has done on the road this season. 9 of his 11 home runs have been on the road, and OPS just under 1,100 on the road. And he's got 11 career home runs against the Guardians, so hopefully he'll be able to get that swing together in this ballpark here. If you pull the ball, get it over that big wall, maybe work his way over to the Pistons-Cavaliers game here today. Wayne, is that big game going in a little later on.
And Trout leading the American League in road OPS so far this year. And Jose Ramirez has wore out the Angels. Remember that 3-homer game he had at the Big A last year.
I'll tell you what, even when you think, okay, when do you go and why would you throw anything near the strike zone, he'll go down there and make a good pass at it if you get anything close, anything firm, especially if you throw him a fastball, he will hit a fastball a long, long way. He's one of the most difficult outs the Angels have ever had to deal with in their career. So I would say off speed, out of the strike zone, take your chance wherever else in the lineup.
Or just pitch the other 8 guys.
Yes.
Isn't that the best plan? Usually is for Jose Ramirez, who also leads the AL in stolen bases so far this year. So when he has gotten on base, he's been able to run so far this season. Angels and Guardians here tonight, the first of a 3-game series. Oswald Peraza's in the lineup again with a lefty on the mound for Cleveland. We'll talk about Peraza's great start to the season coming up. Oswald Peraza back in the lineup again today for the Angels with the left. For the Halos when Peraza has gotten those starts.
Yeah, I mean, he's played exceptional defense. He's running the bases well, but what you're seeing swinging the bat so far this season on the road, 304 batting average with 5 home runs, 10 RBIs, slugging over 600, just under 1,000 OPS for Peraza. His ability to read pitches on the inner half, especially with the lefties. When you look at what he's done, over 329 lefty against lefties all season long, so that bat has been quick. Doing his thing. 13-13 the Halos when he starts the game. I'll tell you, difference maker, Wayne, I think with his glove too. And his wheels on the bases, but he's really hit the ball hard. I mean, he's a lot stronger than a lot of people put him in that position, because when he hits a baseball hard like the second deck yesterday in Toronto, a difference maker in that game got the Halos the lead.
And the Halos will go on to win that game. They'll try to make it back-to-back wins starting this series tonight in Cleveland. Angels baseball on ABTV is brought to you by Hyundai. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit your SoCal Hyundai dealer today. By Jack in the Box, Jack's new Smash Jack Sliders Munchie Meal with a chance to win the $75,000 prize for Jack's 75th anniversary. And by your Toyota dealers, we make it easy. And there is downtown Cleveland with Progressive Field and Rocket Arena, where the Cleveland Cavaliers will host Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinal tonight against the Detroit Pistons. The Angels and the Guardians going at it here at Progressive Field right next door, so it should be an eventful night here for Cleveland sports. The Angels batting order brought to you by Theodore Robbins Ford. Zach Neto leads it off, then it's Trout hitting second, Vaughn Grissom bats third, Solaire's the DH, Joe Adell's in right field after a big performance yesterday, Shonowell at first base, Peraza at second, Rivero behind the plate with Bryce Teodosio starting in left field for Kurt Suzuki's Los Angeles Angels. Angels here tonight.
The Guardians are building the drama here with all the sports going on here today. They're having quite. Here they come. Here they come now.
Well, they're the Guardians of drama.
Yes.
As Joey Cantillo leads Cleveland out onto the field. Cantillo has had some real shaky postseason performances in his young career, but largely at the major league level during the regular season, he's been pretty sharp.
Yeah, Cantillo, his changeup is a plus pitch, 2-1 with a pretty solid ERA under 3.5. A whip at 1.37. My go-tos to get him, especially early in this game today, is jump on those middle-in fastballs. He's giving up some shots on the fastball, 4 home runs, 295 batting average, but you got to bring that changeup in the strike zone. 18 strikeouts with his changeup, but that whip percentage is extremely high, but 43.6 whip percentage. And the defense behind him, he's going to be around the strike zone quite a bit. When you think about best outfielders in the game, and Stephen Kwan, 4-time Gold Glove winner, 15 assists out in left field in his career, 1 defensive run save so far this season. So they have the defense. They've always played Ramirez, one of our all-time favorite, over third base, and Manzardo over first. Fry behind the plate. He's allowed 7 stolen bases in 7 attempts, so that could come into play, especially with the lefty on the mound. But Kwan out there playing his familiar left field position. When he's played center, it's kind of affected his swing a little bit, but he's so good out there in left field.
Yeah, they wanted to give him some opportunities in center field just because he is their best outfielder. So Kwan has played some in center this year, although an amazing left fielder. And we'll see how the Angels can get some offense pumping today after putting up 6 runs on the Blue Jays yesterday. A few homers in that game, including the 2 from Joe Adell. We'll see if there can be a carryover offensively on a fairly cool night here in Cleveland. And we're getting to the middle of May, and yet the weather has not really turned here in northern Ohio just yet.
No, not quite yet. The wind off the lake here too. You would think early in the game too, advantage for pitchers, because you're right in the bright sunlight as you're delivering the baseball early and into the shadows. So hopefully get one of those pitches out over the plate and see if we do some damage. And Zach Neto get it going again and build some confidence.
Everybody bundled up here tonight. Zach Neto says he's tired of this cold weather on the road. There's been a lot of it for the Angels here in the first several weeks of the year. You know, Mr. 305 himself, not Pitbull, Zach Neto.
Yeah, so it is Zach Neto.
I understand.
The Zach Neto.
The Mr. 305. It's Joey Cantillo on the mound for the Guardians here tonight. And we are underway with ball 1 on a first pitch changeup to start the ball game here.
And that's a field pitch, and clearly didn't have a feel for that first one in there.
Well, you got to have a good feel for the field pitch, certainly.
Yes.
Cantillo typically does. That changeup has been tough to hit so far this year. Opponents have only hit 140 against it. Here's Neto popping one up. This one playable on the first base side. It's Kyle Manzardo in fair territory as he angles to make the catch for the first out of the game.
And our Hyundai key for the game today, this newly elected into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Phil Collins, in the air tonight. Get a baseball in the air tonight and see how far it can travel, especially with Mike Trout at 11 career home runs against the Guardians. Soler also with 10 career home runs against. And Joe Adell, I think, is ready to get locked in like we saw last year.
Is that Mike Tyson who dances to that one and whatever that movie, The Hangover?
The Hangover, yes.
Here's Mike Trout.
Great look for him.
And a strike in there from Cantillo. Cantillo's from Hawaii, actually. Went to Kailua High School in Oahu. We left Turtle Bay up there on the north shore of Hawaii. Oahu. He says he jumps in the ocean every single day when he's home. Here's Trout hitting a ground ball softly to Ramirez, the 2 that we highlighted in the open, and get involved here as Trout grounds out, 2 up, 2 down. I don't think he jumps into Lake Erie though every time the Guardians are home.
No, you might not want to do that. It's a little chilly.
Well, who knows what kind of lake monsters are living in there too. At least you can see, and when you jump in the ocean in Hawaii, you can see the water, you can see what's down there. It's not always the case with Lake Erie. Vaughn Grissom is the batter with 2 outs and the base is empty. Grissom had a 2-run double in the game yesterday. Angels found some extra base hits to score some runs to beat the Blue Jays yesterday afternoon as Grissom looks at a strike.
94-mile-an-hour fastball. Generally will sit around 90, 94 throughout the game.
There's Kirby Yates from Hawaii, couple 86 Mets, Sid Fernandez and Ron Darling as well. Cantillo, his father grew up a Yankee fan, an Italian American, so he named him Joey, or Joseph, after Joe DiMaggio.
That's a good one.
Yeah, good Italian American to name Sun after. Joey Cantillo, 1 ball, 1 strike on Grissom with 2 outs. And a wave and a miss as the curveball gets a strike. Those breaking pitches for Cantillo are the ones that tend to get hit a little bit more.
Yeah, 273 on his curveball. Slider over 300. So really his best pitch is that little changeup fading away arm side.
Grissom with a high fly ball to left. This one won't carry. Stephen Kwan is coming in toward the line, and Kwan, after a bit of a dance, makes the catch, or a 1-2-3, top of the first. They expect to see Brent Suter and Alek Manoah get the bulk innings here today. Suter will open things, second time he's done so this year.
And the way he works so quickly, his changeup, his best pitch. He'll try to sneak that fastball by at 88 miles an hour. Good slider too against the lefty. He's going to face potential a couple of them here early on, and depending on how well he does, you might see him go face a number of hitters here today.
Ideally, he can pitch 2 or 3 innings even if things are smooth early on. There's the Cleveland batting order with Kwan leading off. DeLauder's really been their best hitter so far this year. Ramirez has not quite heated up yet. And Stephen Kwan takes a high strike, and that's the first pitch from Suter in there. Kwan is in the bottom 5 in Major League Baseball in OPS so far this year, hitting just 208. This is normally a guy who makes a lot of contact, puts the ball in place, sprays the ball around. He really hasn't been able to do that so far this year.
Real surprising, consider when you look at his numbers against the Angels. 377 career hitter.
2 balls and a strike, and the Guardians need him.
He's a hitter, Wayne. He's not a power guy. He's a hitter, putting the ball in play, working counts. When he's looking to try to drive the ball out of the ballpark, that's when, as a pitcher, you have a better chance against him.
This one way up and in from Suter. And now 3 balls and 1 strike the count on Stephen Kwan, a table setter for the Cleveland order. Typically, this has been an offense that has struggled to score runs over the years. They've scored a few more so far this year than where they averaged last season. As Kwan takes strike 2, and now a full count.
A quick hill will throw the pitch in there to throw the timing off. That was a 3-1 count. He threw him a fastball, but he wasn't quite ready for it. And he painted the inside corner.
Full count pitch coming. Kwan, it's a bouncing ball to the second baseman Peraza. That's where you want Kwan, just grounding over to the right side. That's an automatic out every time. 1 away here in the first.
Defense for the Halos today. Joe Adell on the right. You got Teodosio playing left today. Trout back in center. Grissom, Neto, Peraza great at second base. Showing well. Rivera behind the plate. But Joe Adell, 2 outfield assists already this season. I mean, we talked about that incredible game he had, but you go back to the last couple of seasons in right field, that's his comfort zone.
Brings up Chase DeLauder, an ode to West Virginia. That's where he says he belongs, according to that song.
Yes.
At least. Strike 1 to DeLauder. He went to James Madison University. It was the only university that offered him a scholarship, and it was a pitching scholarship at that. But then he hit 400 while he was in college, so much for the pitching.
How about that walk-up song? Everyone's going to sing that behind you too.
Well, at least half of the guys in this booth.
Yes. Take me home, Wayne. Country road.
DeLauder, it's a chopper to the right side. Suter will cover first base. Shonowell feeds him for out number 2.
Shonowell wanted to get involved in that. That's probably an easier play for Peraza to get and flip it over to Shonowell. We'll take that out. 2 soft contact ground ball outs.
Brings up Jose Ramirez, who has absolutely hammered the Angels over the years. Had 3 home runs on opening night at Angel Stadium last season. Well, that is just kind of the way it goes for Jose Ramirez, who has built himself up as probably the greatest player in this franchise's history. But here he lines out to a sliding Teodosio, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the bottom of the first for Brent Suter.
And our StatCast will be powered by Google Cloud. Mention that 4-seam fastball at 45% changeup, 27 curveball and slider both have been hit pretty hard. Same thing with the fastball. Changeup though, and where he throws that, so important on the outside part of the plate, but he elevates it a little bit too, which is surprising.
Here's Jorge Soler leading off in the second inning. Soler won a World Series in this ballpark in 2016. As you see Cantillo's changeup against his other pitches, that's his best pitch. Still kind of forming that curveball and the slider. We'll see how it goes for Cantillo, who's really developed into a 5-and-dive type pitcher. Soler swings and misses 0-2.
Yeah, if he gets swing and misses on his fastball, Cantillo's going to be a tough one. When you think about the Guardians, what they've done with pitching, very similar to what Milwaukee Brewers. It's almost been a factory. They've been able to bring pitchers up and be very successful at this level.
Well, that's how these smaller market Midwest teams need to be to compete and try to at least make their division championships and compete in the postseason. As the Guardians with Carl Willis, the longtime pitching coach, in tow.
Feels like he's been here forever. Been really successful.
He was here with Nap Lajoie, I think. Is that what you're saying?
Could be. You said it, not me. I'm going to run down the bar and say, Wayne Randazzo said that.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Soler. And now 2 balls and 2 strikes on big Jorge Soler. A man about equally as big on deck, Joe Adell, batting behind Soler today. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Soler 8 homers, 28 knocked in so far this season.
Still feels right now. You can see it's a little bit of an advantage for a pitcher with these shadows playing right now, I think.
First strikeout for Cantillo. Joe Adell will stand in now. 2 home runs in the game yesterday. A good sign for Adell.
And that one he crushed yesterday, 449 feet. That was over 114 miles per hour exit velocity. A cutter. Talking about getting that barrel out there quickly along with the hands. Second deck. He also went second deck the other way on a fastball that was almost halfway by the plate, and he hit it out the right field for just about 389 second deck.
Yeah, no doubter to straightaway right field for this right-handed batter, Joe Adell. Adell on the season now with 6 home runs after the 2 yesterday. He's been pretty consistent in terms of his batting average, hitting .273. He's gotten a lot of hits. In fact, he leads the Angels in hits so far this year. We just have not seen the long hits like we did yesterday, and maybe a sign that Joe Adell will start driving the ball with more authority after 3 extra base hits yesterday.
And 5 hits up in Toronto in the air. A couple home runs, couple doubles, line shot for a single in the air into the outfield.
Remember last June, Adell hit 11 home runs in that single month, ended up with 37 on the year, a career high. It's all there for Adell. 2 balls and a strike. As he chops this one, Ramirez backs up to play it, and his throw right on target for the second out.
Well, Ramirez does everything really, really well. We know how good of a hitter, tremendous base runner with 16 stolen bases, but also solid defensively.
Brings up Nolan Shonowell with 2 down. And we're past the point where the conversation relies on saying nobody ever talks about Jose Ramirez. Everybody talks about Jose Ramirez. He has been the best player in this franchise for the last decade, and he might be the best player they've ever had in this uniform and in this city, as Shonowell rips one up the middle, has a 2-out single.
Stayed on that fastball really well, and I think you're correct on that one, Wayne. I think all said and done, he's going to go down as the best to ever put on that uni. Good swing here. Lines. Those hands were quick on that one. It's good to see that. Shonowell.
2-out single off the lefty Cantillo. Angels have done well against left-handed pitching so far this year. 3rd highest OPS in the American League. And a lot of that from Oswald Peraza, who has crushed lefties, including a homer off Eric Lauer yesterday. Cantillo misses with the curveball. 1 ball, no strikes. Peraza with a handful of homers now on the year. Angels have not really committed to Peraza playing every day, but he'll certainly play against all the lefties.
You can see quite a few of them in the next few days or so.
We'll see the impressive rookie Parker Messick in the finale of this series on Wednesday.
Halo so far this season, and Cantillo's got a really good changeup. He hit 172 versus changeups this season.
It's the 2nd worst in the American League. Only the Guardians have actually been worse against changeups. We'll see Slade Ciccone on the mound for Cleveland, right-hander tomorrow. 2 balls, 1 strike.
That's a great name, by the way.
Slade Ciccone.
Yes. That's a great one for a pitcher.
Fantastic.
Yes.
You see the lefty dominance of this Angel lineup. Only the Yankees and White Sox have been better in the American League. Angels not far behind either. 3-1 is the count. Touches the inside corner to make it 3-2.
Just barely touched that inside corner. Shonowell will be on the run now. They're anticipating Peraza not pulling this baseball Kwan is way over in left center field.
Well, Peraza pulled one out for a homer yesterday. Full count pitch coming from Cantillo. It's downstairs, ball 4. So a 2-out walk after the 2-out hit. And the Angels trying to get something going after the first 2 men in this inning were retired.
Now batting for Los Angeles, the catcher, number
DeLauder's got a pretty good throwing arm out in right field too. He's got 1 outfield assist. Former pitcher, so you know he's got a good throwing arm. So a base hit that way, it's going to be important for Shawnwell to get a good jump.
Well, same for Kwan in left field. Here is Rivero, the number 8 batter and catcher tonight. Check swing bouncer foul. Logan O'Hoppe is supposed to begin his rehab assignment tonight in Arizona, so starting to work his way back. We'll see how long it takes Logan to get going again.
Yeah, if everything goes well, more than likely see him on Friday at home against the Dodgers.
The Angels will open a long homestand Friday night. It's over the inside corner and it's 0-2. It'll be the first 3-team homestand of the year. The Dodgers for 3, the A's for 4, and the Rangers for 3. Our first look at both of those division rivals, the Rangers and the A's. Count, no balls, 2 strikes on Rivero. Pitch in the dirt. Cantillo working hard in this inning. He's thrown 20 pitches.
Yeah, you see, he always goes to that changeup for his swing and miss pitch. And it's a very effective swing and miss pitch. Kwan playing really deep out in left here now, so a base hit in front of him, even with that throwing arm, should give the Halos the chance to get the lead.
1 ball, 2 strikes. A ground ball hit to Ramirez at third. He'll fire it to second base. Safe.
Way to hustle down there for Peraza.
Peraza for now has beaten that throw at second.
I'm sure they're going to definitely check it.
For now, the bases are loaded. We'll see if the Guardians want a challenge here. It doesn't look like it.
Now batting for Los
He's clearly
Angeles,
safe.
Yeah, that was. We talk about how good of a base runner he is.
Bryce Teodosio.
So Peraza sneaks into second base, keeps the inning alive with 2 outs, hustling to beat that throw from Ramirez. And now with the bases loaded, it's Bryce Teodosio with a chance to give the Angels the lead. I'm sure in hindsight, Ramirez would have just thrown that ball to first with the catcher running, but now Peraza went hard into second base, feeling at that right ankle, looks like.
Yeah, that base, there's no give in there. He went hard slide in there.
Mike Frostad and Kurt Suzuki are out. We'll see if Peraza can shake this off on a chilly evening here in Cleveland.
Oh, you see how that ankle turned there too when he got to the bag. Went in there hard and turned that ankle.
Peraza has given the Angels a lot of value both offensively and defensively to start this season. He's trying to make sure he can go with that ankle nipping at him here on a 50-degree night. Looks like he's going to stay in.
That's an amazing hustle there too by him. He'll beat that throw. So I'm watching the Guardians doing a lot of infield work today, a lot of it. They were working on that exact type of play. The speed of Peraza changed that up.
So now bases loaded, 2 down. Teodosio due up. 250 average on the year for Teodosio. Looks at strike 1 from Cantillo. Cantillo has yet to give up a hit this year with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Teodosio's hit 300 against lefties so far this season. Little looper toward first. This one will hang up for Manzardo, and that ends the inning. So the Angels had a chance with 2 outs, 3 straight men reach, but they leave them loaded.
Runs Suter back on the mound for the Halos. At some point tonight, we will see Alek Manoah, who's expected to be the Bolt guy tonight. First time on a big league mound this weekend in Toronto for the first time in 709 days. He said before that game on Friday, he hasn't felt that healthy going back to 2022. He also said he was probably more hyped up to get on that mound since his big league debut, but still getting used to what's going on in the bullpen. He said when Dom Chidi tapped him on the shoulder to come in, he said it was an adrenaline rush like he'd never experienced before. But pitchers, Gooby, as we know, like their routine, trying to figure it all out. The lifting schedule, when you're a starter, you've got that 5-day routine, having an inning-to-inning routine, not wanting to throw a ton, all stuff he's learning now. But guys, he'll certainly be amped up when we do see him take the mound here in Cleveland.
And also remember out of the bullpen, Erica and Wayne, that sometimes you feel like you're ready, but you haven't been spinning your changeup or your slider. So you have the adrenaline going, you feel like you're ready to go, but you got to make sure to be able to use those other pitches before you come in the game.
Suter had Rhys Hoskins way out in front of a changeup for strike 3 to lead off here in the second. Now Kyle Manzardo takes ball 1.
That was a 73-mile-an-hour changeup.
By the way, Erica, as Manzardo is out in front of that, 1 ball, 1 strike. Stephen Vogt is not here because of a lingering respiratory illness. I mean, we've pushed through here. I'm
powering through, okay? I'm so sorry. We're getting there.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Manzardo. You're going to have to bring that up to Stephen Vogt when he comes back tomorrow. That is not Stephen Vogt, by the way. That's his twin.
That is his twin.
That is his clone. He cloned himself, and he named it Tony Arnerich. So he is the acting manager and the bench coach for the Guardians. In there for Stephen Vogt.
You think the old Athletic fans up there in Oakland would be still singing, "I believe in Stephen Vogt. I believe in Stephen Vogt"?
And what, maybe they would believe in Tony Arnerich if they had the opportunity. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes on Manzardo. That just missed, 2-2.
Yeah, you can't even blink your eye before Suter throws a pitch.
Well, grip it and rip it from Ohio's own Brent Suter, Cincinnati native, as Manzardo was out in front of that. Still 2-2. Slow start for Manzardo, though there's some power in there too. Can't sleep on Manzardo's ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
That's a good pitch right there.
And Rivero wants to challenge it.
He's throwing it around already. He might not be right on this one, though.
Angels challenge powered by T-Mobile. It is just a little bit low.
Wow. The pitch is the ball. Angels has 1 challenge remaining.
So by about 0.2 of an inch, Jonathan Parra, the home plate umpire, gets that one right. Full count on Manzardo. It's 3-2. And a broken bat fly ball toward right center field sends Peraza back. It drops in for a base hit behind him. Peraza didn't look all that comfortable going back on that ball.
I was just going to say the same thing, and that was a pretty good indication of it. He's usually so quick going back. You see even walking back to his position.
Peraza had a hard slide into second base. Last look at Manzardo was sawed off completely. He was only left with the very end of the bat. Meanwhile, Peraza going back on that ball didn't have a great jump or a lot of movement toward it. As Manzardo gets the first hit for Cleveland today. Brings up David Fry behind the plate for Cleveland. Although the Guardians have certainly changed the makeup of their catching position over the last week. They acquired Patrick Bailey from the San Francisco Giants, which really gives them 2 of the 3 best defensive catchers in all of baseball on their roster between Bailey and Austin Hedges.
For a team that relies on putting the ball in play, catching the baseball, calling good games, working with your pitching staff, that's an excellent addition.
But Fry will at least give them some offense back there, and Fry can play other positions too. He's hardly just a catcher in the way that Bailey and Hedges are. In the meantime, Bo Naylor has been sent to Arizona to work on his swing. If Bo Naylor is going to take up a roster spot here, he needs to produce offensively. He's not the defensive catcher that Hedges or Bailey.
Yes, exactly. Wait, Wayne, just looking down, you got 2 left-handed pitchers on the mound here today. How far apart their landing spots are for lefties. It's unreal. Usually you think of 2 lefties, they're going to be in the same general area. I mean, that is a good almost 2 feet apart where they land and where they start on the pitching rubber.
1-2. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes on Fry. Fry made an all-star team a couple of years ago for Cleveland. Brent Suter breezed through the first inning. He's given up a base hit with one out here in the second. We mentioned the Angels' struggles on changeups. Well, Cleveland's been even worse. They're batting 159 as a team on changeups this year. You can see all their hitters lunging at this Suter changeup so far tonight.
And the key for him too, sometimes he tries to do too much with it. He's got to stay on top and it's faded down, not upstairs.
There's one in the dirt, maybe an example of trying to do too much with it, overthrew it.
Yeah, because he had him exactly where he wanted. You don't even have to throw that perfect one. Sometimes you get it in your mind, you have to throw a perfect one. When you see hitters out in front like that, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just the release point of it.
Now the count 3-2 with Manzardo a short lead at first. There's a ground ball up the middle that gets into left center for a base hit. So Manzardo to second base. It's back-to-back one-out singles, and Cleveland trying to get something cooking here in the second.
Got a sinker there that time. Back up the middle. It's not easy to get anything by Suter on the mound. Was able to get by that where it was nearly 96 miles off the bat.
Now perhaps the Guardians prepared for Alek Manoah to eat up the bulk innings here today, but first time through the order, it's a lot of left-handed batters against the lefty Suter, including the number 7 hitter Daniel Schneemann, who takes a strike. You have another lefty, the 8 batter Bazana, on deck. And Jose Fermin is getting ready in the Angels bullpen to see if Suter needs some help getting through the second. So far, 20-pitch inning. A squibbing ground ball at third. It's Grissom to second base for one. Neto will keep it himself at second. No return throw as Fry is forced down. Schneemann now at first with 2 away.
Had some serious spin on it.
It couldn't have been an easy one to handle for Grissom, although it was not hit hard. Looked like a nice putt on the green here. Look at this.
Yes. A U.S. Open green too. It's going to have some modulation. It's going to be a tough putt.
That's the biggest word I've heard you use.
Well, I'm going to take that out of my vocabulary. I have a reputation to do it. Keep and fold.
Travis Bazana takes ball 1. I did a double take. Bazana was the #1 pick just 2 years ago. And a lot of guys from that draft have gotten to the major leagues already. Nick Kurtz, probably chief among them. Connor Griffin. We've seen Christian Moore. Trey Savage pitched against the Angels the other day. There have been about a dozen big leaguers already from that 2024 draft, in which Bazana was the 1 pick. And that looked like a strike on the swing. It is.
Tell you what, I'm just looking at his approach at the plate. You can tell he's got a chance of being really good. Just the way he's out on that plate, hand set up, but he definitely did cross it.
23-year-old Australian. Goes without saying he's the first ever #1 overall pick born in Australia. He takes in the dirt here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He played cricket in high school. He was a wicket keeper and opening batsman for his high school state championship cricket team in Sydney.
So you would think he's a pretty good low ball hitter. You would think. Have a tougher time with something elevated.
Count is 2-2 on Bazana. And there was a high fastball that he laid off. 3-2. First time that the Guardians, or before that the Indians, had the #1 overall pick in franchise history. Full count. The runner will go from first. That's ball 4 to Bazana. So the bases are loaded here.
Don't be surprised if the pitching change would be made now.
And Brian Rocchio, a switch hitter, coming up. And it looks like Kurt Suzuki will go to Fermin to try to get this last out. Well, the Angels had the bases loaded with 2 outs in the top of the inning and didn't score. We'll see if Jose Fermin can keep the Guardians off the board. Join us at Angel Stadium Friday, May 22nd. The Rangers will be in town. You can walk away with a new addition to your hat collection. The first 25,000 fans will receive a camo trucker hat courtesy of Angels Radio AM 830. Angels.com/promotions for more info. It's the home half of the second here in Cleveland. Jose Fermin will try to keep the Guardians from scoring after they've loaded the bases here.
He's got that real good slider. Sometimes we'll go towards the left-handed batter's box. Sometimes we'll drop straight down like a splitter.
Brent Suter got 5 outs, allowed the bases loaded with 2 hits and a walk in this inning. Now Brian Rocchio will lead off. Rocchio's had some good numbers at the bottom of the order. He has the most hits in the major leagues from anyone out of the number 9 spot. Switch hitter had 4 hits yesterday as he takes a high strike from Fermin. Cleveland has really struggled with runners in scoring position of late. They've hit just 194 over their last 8 games. Fermin trying to keep those struggles current, and he's ahead of Rocchio 0-2.
That's that 2 type of sliders. That one that kind of backed up like a splitter, and then he throws that down and in slider.
Manzardo's at third base. Schneeman's at second. He runs well. Pizzana's at first. And Fermin ahead 0-2 on the number 9 hitter Brian Rocchio. Line drive to right and a base hit. Manzardo comes home. Schneeman's right behind him. Throw coming in is cut off. And with 2 outs on an 0-2 pitch, Brian Rocchio laces a 2-run single to give Cleveland a 2-0 lead.
Well, when you look at where that pitch was, you think, okay, it's not a bad pitch. It's down, it's out of the strike zone. He got him to chase it. But all that pitch before was in the lower part of the strike zone. He tracked his eyes to it, and he lines it in. And he almost got the point where he did bounce it. Just like that, the Guardians got the lead.
So the Angels could not get the hit from the number 9 spot in the top of the inning. The Guardians do. And it's 2-0 Cleveland on a base hit by Rocchio. That's his 34th hit from the number 9 spot in the order. That is by far and away the most in the major leagues. And this one on an 0-2 pitch.
Anyway, that's that slider that goes straight down, almost like a splitter. So he had a better chance that instead of it was going down and in, he pulls that one probably foul if he makes contact.
He's running here, and Rivera will not throw. So Rocchio has made a big impact in this inning. A 2-run single, now a stolen base, gives the Guardians 2 more men in scoring position with 2 outs for Kwan.
Yeah, going as soon as he has a chance that front leg moved at all, he was going.
1 ball, 1 strike.
That's 42nd stolen base already for the Guardians this season.
Trying to find ways to score runs and get men in position to score. And Jose Ramirez leads the American League in steals, and this Guardian team runs a lot. That's a strike to Kwan, 1-2.
See that one right there, the normal break on the slider. Rocchio probably, if he swings at that, can't keep that one fair. But he did a good job of going down and getting that one straight down below the strike zone like he did.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Kwan here. Kwan always tough to strike out. And he hits a chopper to first. Shonowell handles the high hop and beats Kwan to the bag. 2 runs for Cleveland. Brian Rocchio gives them a 2-0 lead.
Wonder awaits.
Be one of the first 25,000 fans in attendance at the Big A Monday, June 1st against the Rockies, and walk away with a new City Connect cooler tote courtesy of Yakult probiotic drink. Angels.com/promotions for more info.
Angel fans here and New York Knicks fan here too. Oh, did I say that loud? I'm sorry.
Zach Neto takes ball 1. Well, maybe he's going to do some scouting because the Knicks will play the winner of the Detroit-Cleveland semifinal series after the Knicks swept away the Philadelphia 76ers. Now they're passing the Knicks hat around.
Wow. That ain't right.
1 ball, 1 strike on Neto.
I'll be right back, Wayne.
Are the Flyers still alive in the hockey playoffs? Oh, they're done too.
Yeah, how are the Bulls and the Blackhawks doing, by the way? Hey, the Ducks won last night, though.
Yeah.
Tied up at 2. Whack, whack, whack.
Ducks and the Golden Knights in the Western Conference semifinal in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Oh, baby, duck call season.
Yes.
1 ball, 2
About
strikes.
a challenge, they call strike.
Well, then if Neto doesn't win this, the Angels are out of challenges.
I think he's going to win it, but it's extremely
No,
close.
he didn't win it. It's a strike.
Oh, it's confirmed. The pitch is a strike. Angels is out of challenges.
They certainly are. So the Angels go through their challenges quickly here tonight, and now Jonathan Parra is in charge of the Angels' fate when it comes to balls and strikes the rest of the evening. 1-2 on Neto as he takes a ball in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This would be a perfect night for Aaron Boone, though. This gives him a chance to be able to go back to old school as far as challenges of being upset if a ball or strike is called.
Yeah, I'd like to see Kurt Suzuki get out there a little
Yes.
bit. I don't know if that's in Kurt's DNA, though, like it is Aaron Boone's. Wave and a miss. Strike 3. It was the curveball from Cantillo to get a punch out on Neto. That's the second strikeout for the Guardian lefty. Brings up Trout, who is our, guess what? He's our key player profile tonight. Wins above replacement if you go back to 2017, which was really a breakout year for Ramirez and Aaron Judge's rookie year. Those 2 leading the American League. Trout third amongst them. Trout's best years, well, some of those at the end of the last decade, but really a lot of those before Ramirez and Judge got going. Swing and a miss here by Trout, although they're all roughly the same age. Trout is only 6-7 months older than Judge and not that much older than Ramirez either.
16th season in the major leagues for Trout. 14 for Ramirez.
Trout took off like a shot at the beginning of his major league career. I mean, talk about a guy who hit the ground running and at an extremely young age. You know, Judge did too. Judge was a rookie of the year, hit all those home runs, but he was already 26 as a rookie. Trout came up as a teenager, dominated the sport as a 20-year-old. I mean, it's rare. What Mike Trout did in the early part of his career has hardly ever happened in the history of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about going back today, he hit for the cycle, the youngest ever hit for the cycle in the American League.
30 homers, 49 steals as a 20-year-old in the major leagues back in 2012. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Trout. Waves and misses on this changeup from Cantillo, who has retired the first 2 with back-to-back strikeouts in this inning.
On this road trip, the top 2 in the lineup for the Halos has been a tough one for Zach Neto and Mike Trout. You go even back to those 3 games in Toronto, just a couple hits combined. 0 for 4 combined tonight so far.
Well, Trout only had 1 hit in the Toronto series. Neto had 3, 1 in each game. It's been a rough road trip, certainly for Trout, and well, the Angels need him to be in the middle of it all offensively. As Grissom looks at a strike, Grissom flied to left his first time. A little hot chocolate delivery up here in the booth.
And by the way, it's extremely hot chocolate.
Well, we're just going to keep it to ourselves, though. Take our word for it. Grissom bounces one foul.
I'm thinking of that Seinfeld 1-2. Hot coffee with Kramer.
Windows closed, really?
Well,
and hot chocolate up there? I'm roughing it down here. Come on, guys.
me.
You got heaters up there on your feet too, I'm told.
And we have an overhead heater too. You know?
Oh, even better.
Yeah. That pitch was negated, I believe, by a late timeout called by Grissom. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We could open the window. Don't you think?
Well, yeah, for sure. I didn't even realize it wasn't open.
Hot chocolate, I don't think that's good when you're trying to get your voice back to 100%. It's, you know, I don't want any kind of milk in there.
Yeah.
So you want to stay out of the hot chocolate. And what, your coffee and tea are good. Have that. Let us have our treat up here. Grissom fouls one off.
Erica, you have anything to say? Well, that was silence. That was her comeback for you there. Look at it, enjoying your hot chocolate.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Grissom. That ball driven out toward left, but right at Quan, who comes in and makes the catch to end the inning. 1-2-3 in the third. Two nothing. The Guardians lead the Angels. We're in the bottom of the third here at Progressive Field. Chase DeLauder leading things off against Jose Fermin, who allowed that 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run base hit to Brian Rocchio in the second inning, which gave Cleveland the lead. Angels have been shut out on 1 hit so far by Joey Cantillo in 3 innings. DeLauder had a great start to his major league career. He was knocking the ball all over the place in the first week of the season, although it wasn't really his major league debut. He debuted in the playoffs
that
last
year. Still unbelievable. I mean, the pressure he had on himself making your debut in the postseason.
Well, they lost the first game of the wild card series last year to the Tigers, and then for game 2 they said, well, let's just bring DeLauder up. Maybe he can run into one and help this team out, as Cleveland won the second game of that series against the Tigers before losing in game 3. Of course, that was on the back end of the Guardians overcoming a 15.5 game deficit in the middle of last season to have the largest divisional comeback in baseball history, knocking off the Tigers to win the division title, even though the Tigers had the last laugh winning the wild card series. Ball 4 to DeLauder as Fermin walks the first batter of the inning.
Interesting, though, early in that sequence, there was a pitch there was challengeable, but no challenges left because it was a strike, and it wasn't called a strike.
And the Angels out of challenges here by the end of the third inning as Jose Ramirez bats. Well, it should be another 2020 year for Ramirez. Already has almost the 20 steals. He has 16 stolen bases to go with his 6 home runs. So he would have the 8th 2020 season of his career should he get there. Ball in the dirt. Rivero couldn't find it, and DeLauder goes to second base.
And you wonder how many pitches now Ramirez will get a chance to see here now with an open base.
I would probably say none. Just put him on. Set up a double play with Hoskins on deck. Ramirez has struggled some from the left side of the plate this year. He's only hit 193 left-handed. And he's out in front of that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike.
Change up there from Fermin. There's a lot of sliders. Looks like he almost went on that one too.
He held up on the slider in the dirt. So now 3 balls and 1 strike. Rhys Hoskins on deck. We'll see it from the side angle.
He held up. Committed to going after that slider down and in, but kept his hands back though.
Ramirez has now the most games played in the history of this franchise. He's in the top 3 in pretty much every offensive category. Chops this one to first. Shotwell running to the back beats Ramirez, who's always hustling. 1 out as DeLauder goes to third.
Ends up being a productive out for the Guardians, though. That's going to force the infield in more than likely.
You do have a strikeout candidate with Hoskins, who punched out his first time. Hoskins bringing a veteran presence to their lineup, and a guy who can drive the baseball when he's right. Just 3 home runs so far this year, batting all of 187 at the moment. Hoskins came up in the Phillies organization, and he was an incredible slugger early in his career. As Kirby Yates.
He had some huge moment home runs for the Phillies too.
A fan favorite there. 2 balls and no strikes. Look at Hoskins at the very beginning of his career. He was setting all sorts of records. He had 11 home runs in his first 18 major league games. They called him the bringer of dingers then. 3-0 the count.
It's another pretty good pitch. It's a little bit off the plate though. Wouldn't be surprised if he has the green light here though.
DeLauder at third with one away. And it's ball 4 to Hoskins. So 2 walks in the inning. And Mike Maddox heads out to the mound with Shuggy Yates warming up. As the Guardians threaten for a second straight inning after scoring 2 in the second. It'll be Kyle Manzardo at the plate after we drive with Hyundai.
A car that sees what you can't, how it should be. The Hyundai Tucson.
Jose Fermin gave up the big base hit last inning, a 2-run single to Rocchio. Now having his own issues here in the third thanks to a couple of walks and a wild pitch.
He's probably ready down there in the bullpen for the Halos now.
First baseman number 9, Kyle Manzardo.
After the mound visit, Fermin will face Manzardo. Has hit into 4 double plays so far this year. And a bloop base hit on a broken bat his first time. Neto is in at short, but he's right next to second base, so the Angels maintain a double play presence. As Manzardo takes ball 1. The way the infield is set up, you see Peraza about halfway at second base. And then Neto is in, but he's right next to the bag. So if the ball's hit to Peraza, they could still turn 2. Even Grissom back at third. They could go around the horn even on a grounder that way. Although with Manzardo's swing, I can't imagine he hits many grounders to third.
Exactly. He'd be have to be way out in front and off the end of the bat.
1 ball, 1 strike on Manzardo. And it does angle that way as he fouled one off.
Now I need that punch out right now for me. He has that swing and miss slider.
DeLauder at third, Hoskins at first. Not much speed out there as Manzardo takes ball 2. DeLauder doesn't run that great for a young player. He's had so many leg injuries in his career. Hoskins pretty slow at first. And so is Manzardo for that matter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's off the plate, ball 3. Fermin missing here in this third inning. Already 2 walks and in danger of a third. You see more balls than strikes through him.
Just hasn't had a feel for a slider yet. That's the big pitch he needs.
It's 3-2. And it's ball 4. A third walk in this inning. The bases are loaded now. David Fry is due up, and I would imagine he'll face Yates. And here comes Kurt Suzuki to make the change.
The catcher, number 6, David Fry.
Nachos?
Thanks.
Add to your Angels bobblehead collection. Yusei Kikuchi's bobblehead. The first 25,000 fans Monday, June 8th will take home their very own Yusei Kikuchi bobblehead, courtesy of JAE, Japan Aviation Electronics Industry Limited. Angels.com/promotions for all of the information. Here's Kirby Yates making his second appearance as an Angel, at least this year. Don't forget he had those few appearances many years ago when the Angels had him, but now in his second stint with the Angels and in his second appearance here tonight.
Well, he's capable of a punch out himself with his splitter. Also, he can get a ground ball with that splitter. You can see the way the defense is set up. That's the thought process for Kurt Suzuki here now.
He's the second Hawaiian-born pitcher to take the mound here today. Out of Kauai High School.
So they're playing back and anticipating a double play ball. If contact is made, hit on top of the baseball.
David Fry to base hit his first time. Bases loaded with 1 out. Angels infield is in position for a double play. Ball 1 from Yates, who threw a lot more sliders in his first appearance, trying to get that pitch to play off his splitter as well. He says without the big juice on his fastball, and he thinks that slider will be a good wrinkle for him. Two balls, no strikes, the count on Fry. Yates now 39 years old.
That was a strike there too.
Well, no challenges for the Angels. That's why you don't want to burn those early. No recourse now. It's 2-0 the count on Fry. Yates just served that one right in there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yates struggled with the Dodgers last year after a hamstring injury ruined his season. He suffered that injury in a game against the Angels. He was doing fine before that, though. It's 2 balls, 1 strike on Fry. And now that one in the dirt makes it 3-1. So the Guardians, without a hit in this inning, have loaded the bases and now 1 ball away from adding to their lead.
Rivera did a real nice job of keeping that in front too. Probably hasn't caught him a whole lot. He saw him a little bit in spring training, but not a lot of times together.
Count is 3-1 on Fry. That's in there for strike 2. A lot of splitters in this at bat.
3-1 splitter.
He threw a 2-0 also.
Yes. That basically tells you that's the pitch he feels most comfortable throwing for a strike.
Trying to get by Fry and at least keep him loaded here. 1 out. And it's ball 4. So 4 walks in this inning from the Angel bullpen. The first 3 from Fermin. Yates entering with the bases loaded, walks in the 3rd Cleveland run tonight. RBI for Fry, and it's 3-zip.
That'll be in a pretty good take after he throws the splitter for a strike. So Alek Manoah getting ready now.
One out with Schneemann at the plate.
Difficult guy to double up here also. That's why you see the infield in for the most part.
Now again, Peraza a bit further back at second with Neto near the bag from the shortstop side of it. A strike to Schneemann. Similar alignment to when Manzardo was up to keep that double play in order if need be. Schneemann reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the 2nd. Cleveland now with a 3-0 lead. Broken bat floater, right center, base hit. No chance with the infield in. 2 more runs come home. Well, the Guardians haven't really lit the baseball up tonight, but they have found 5 runs in the first 3 innings.
And not a lot of exit velocity on that one, but contact made. Saw that a lot up in Toronto. We're just making contact with guys on base.
The second baseman, number 37.
Bases on balls have been a huge issue tonight. It really started with the 2-out walk from Suter to Bizana that loaded the bases in the 2nd. Before Rocchio had that 0-2 hit to score the first 2 runs. There have been 4 walks in this inning. Bizana wants to challenge this first pitch from Yates.
And he's going to be right on this one.
Guardians challenge powered by T-Mobile, and that is a ball.
First return, the pitch to the ball. The Guardians have 2 challenges remaining.
Lifelong cricket player. He knows the bottom of the strike zone.
Yes, he does. He's just playing the college ball about a second ago, and he's able to challenge up in the show.
Went to Oregon State, coming from Sydney, Australia. There goes Schneemann. Throw down to second by Rivera. Skips in there. Schneemann is safe. Another steal for the Guardians. Their American League leading 43rd as a team. And these Cleveland hits have not been hit very hard. All 4 of them have kind of dunked in, but when you put extra men on base, those dunked hits turn into multiple runs, and now another one would make 2 more for Cleveland. It is 5-0 here in the third. The hardest hit ball for the Guardians on an actual hit was David Fry's at 95.8 miles an hour off the bat. Rocchio's was 88 miles an hour. And the other 2 were just little flares that fell in. Both at 65 miles an hour. Those are the 4 hits. Pisano wants to challenge again.
Another one.
You're about to challenge to go straight.
He might not win this one now.
Well, it's the low ones that he knows. The high ones, he can't figure those out.
Ball is confirmed. The pitch is a strike. Guardians have 1 challenge remaining.
My bad, he said.
Yeah. You were right.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Infield is in. A 5-0 game here in the third. Pisano with a fly ball to left center, sends Teodosio and Trout after it. Trout can't reach it with a dive. It falls in. Extra base hit for Pisano, scores 2 more. 7-0 here in the third.
Yeah, pitcher in the lower part of the strike zone, and he hit that one exceptionally well the other way. First career double. Pretty good power going the other way, and it's going to be a very difficult one for Trout as it goes away from him at center field.
It just kept tailing away. Diving effort, but that was for naught from Trout. As the Guardians, team that's averaged only 4 runs per game this year, has scored 7 in just 2 1/3 innings tonight against the Angels bullpen, what is ultimately amounted to a bullpen game. This one has gotten out of hand here for the Angels before Alek Manoah even enters.
Another tough one for the Halos here in this ballpark.
They've lost 27 of their last 31 games here. Largely been a lot of good Guardian teams, although hardly unbeatable teams over the years.
And a lot of those close ones, with a lot of comebacks for the Guardians, and their bullpen at that point was lockdown.
One ball, 1 strike on Rocchio. Well, lockdown bullpen sure sounds like a dream right now for the Angels, as they have seen their bullpen ERA balloon back up to over 5.5 for the year. Suter retired the first 4 in a row, but couldn't get out of the second inning. Fermin gave up a 2-run hit in that inning and then walked the bases loaded in this third inning. Kirby Yates has allowed those bases to become unloaded and then some. He has yet to retire a batter. The bases loaded walk, a 2-run single, and a 2-run double. Now 2-2 on Rocchio.
It's a much better splitter for him. Can't imagine he's coming into this part of the game too often in his career.
Go to second base. Pisano at second after his 2-run double. Guardians trying to get back above 500. They're in first place, such as it is, in the AL Central, but they're 21-21. Broken bat grounder to first. Shotwell will flip, or will just take it himself. Yates had to hurdle the bat to get to first. 2 outs, and Pisano now at third.
I didn't think Pisano was moving around a lot at second base. Sometimes that could be a distraction for a hitter at the plate.
Stephen Kwan is the number 9 hitter in this inning. Leadoff batter overall in this Cleveland lineup. 9th man to bat here in the third. They send 7 men to the plate in the second inning. They've scored 7 runs in the second and third combined here tonight. Kwan has grounded out twice to the right side.
That splitter just having a tougher time being able to get that release point. Well, it's a tough one right here going after that momentum from yesterday.
Still a lot of innings to make it up, but a 7-0 deficit here has put the Angels in a gigantic hole after just 3 innings tonight. This third inning not over yet. 1 ball 2 strikes on Kwan. Kirby Yates at times has been an elite closer. Had 41 saves to lead the National League when he was with the Padres back in 2019. And 33 saves and a 1.17 ERA as an All-Star 2 years ago with Texas.
A 1.17 ERA.
He strikes out Kwan to win the inning, but Cleveland puts up a 5 spot.
I could reward myself for 75 years of excellence, but I'm rewarding you instead with a collectible pin.
It is third. Pretty soon that walkway to Rocket Arena will be filling up, getting close to game time for the Cavaliers and the Pistons. And it's close to a must win for the Cavs tonight, down 2-1 in that series against Detroit. Joey Cantillo with a big lead now, fires in a strike to Soler. Angels loaded the bases with 2 outs in the second but didn't score. Cantillo set down the side in order in the first and the third. Soler drives one center field off the end of the bat some though, so doesn't carry too much. Schneemann makes the play in center. 1 out here in the fourth.
A little higher launch angle than we've seen from Soler when he drives the ball at that lower 20s. Was it 36? Pretty good exit velocity, but hit it too high.
Well, here's a guy who needs to hit the ball high, Joe Adell. It was interesting, we went over it here before the game today. Seeing how Adell's swing kind of flattened out yesterday. He's been kind of a little loopier with his swing this year than he was last season. Swing and a miss here on a slider, but yesterday had a nice flat swing which resulted in seeing some of that launch angle return for Adell.
And hitting the baseball hard in the air and going a long way.
There it is, the average for his swing in terms of the attack angle this year. And you can see that 11 degrees makes that swing not quite as even as he was last year. He was very even yesterday.
I think he was talking to Eric after the game yesterday. There's a loopy on the swing. So in other words, you know, you'll hit on top of the baseball sometimes. Other times you're getting underneath it and popping it straight up.
It's the ball with such authority, even when he isn't hitting doubles and home runs. He hits the ball hard a lot. But it's the distance that that ball travels that will make a difference for Adell. That's how you get those doubles and homers. 1 ball 2 strikes as he swings and misses here on a fastball. And Cantillo just tossed it in strikes with a big lead. Now has punched out 4, 2 down.
You know, when you think about how many times Joe Adell's hit the ball well over 105 to 110 on the ground to the left side of the infield, for it results a lot of times in outs. That's when you would like to see him hit that ball in the air and see how far it can travel, like it did yesterday, going 449.
2 outs with Shotwell at the plate. Kind of the same thing where you hear about Fernando Tatis right now at the Padres, that he's among the major league leaders in hard hit balls, but he still has not hit a home run this year. His swing is out of whack to the point where he's not elevating the ball, but he's still strong enough and a good enough hitter to hit it hard a lot of the time. That's kind of where Adele has been sometimes, where he's matured so much as a hitter. He's still able to get hits. He's still able to hit the ball hard. He just isn't driving the ball with his swing not exactly where he's wanted it to be. We saw those signs yesterday. Count is 3-0 on Shotwell. Catcher Fry wanted to.
It's a little bit of a
challenge,
delayed challenge.
And Jonathan Parra gave it to him. Cleveland's challenge powered by T-Mobile. It's a ball anyway, so no more challenges.
Call is confirmed. The pitch is a ball. The Guardians are out of challenges.
I just want to make it even.
You know, Fry getting a start behind the plate. Not too sure how many of those he will get moving forward here with Bailey now on this ball club. 3-1 on Shotwell. Bailey and Hedges will do the bulk of the catching for the Guardians, and
that was a ball, by the way, to that pitch.
No, nobody can say otherwise right now. This is a challenge-free night the rest of the way. Line pass first, a fair ball down the right field line. It bounces toward the corner as DeLauder sends it in. Shotwell hustles for second and has a 2-out double.
It's good seeing that. A couple good at bats for Shotwell so far tonight. Need to get him rocking.
Now batting for Los Angeles.
Picking up his 10th double season for the Halos. Tops as far as doubles.
Shotwell at second. Angels trying to get on the board as Peraza fouls one behind home plate. Peraza walked his last time and then safely got into second base, beating a throw from Jose Ramirez with 2 outs that prolonged the inning, although the Angels didn't have it prolonged for long. Teodosio fouled out with the bases loaded. It's been all Guardians ever since. Peraza seemed to tweak his ankle. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of times you think that might stiffen up as the game has progressed, but looks like he's moving around a little bit better than after the initial slide into second in that pop up into right center field against him.
There's a bouncer to the left side. Ramirez stabs at it, and his throw retires Peraza.
Find your reason.
The Guardians have put the ball in play. Not exactly a hard hit all night long, but they've done their job. Take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. The exit velocity on the hits for the Guardians today. Zana with the only really well hit baseball. But they're up 7-0 here at this point because they made contact with some base runners on. That's the key to winning ball games, making contact at that moment.
Well, at the very least, this will be an opportunity for Alek Manoah to stretch out a little bit as he'll face Chase DeLauder leading off the 4th inning. With Manoah completely stretched out, you know, the Angels feel like he could go as long as possible here today, and he'll have 1 pitch, 1 out to start his night as DeLauder flies out to Teodosio. But this will be a chance for Manoah to just kind of maybe take the rest of the night.
Yes, and my go-tos for him to be able to do that tonight and be successfully doing that on the mound here is move that fastball up and down in the strike zone. That's so important between a 2 and 4 seam fastball, but fade that changeup arm side. You go back to 22, he had a devastating slider. He's been throwing his changeup a lot more. That's been pretty effective.
Here's Jose Ramirez as he takes a strike. There was a time when Manoah was one of the best pitchers in baseball. Although it was a fleeting moment, just a couple of really good seasons that he had as a member of the Blue Jays. Made an all-star team in 2022. Fires one up and into Ramirez. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And he will pitch inside. And you notice, I mean, the stride he has going right now, too. Sometimes when you think about 91, 94 miles an hour fastball, but the stride is going to be something that's going to help him out.
He was 3rd in Cy Young voting in 2022. Finished only behind Justin Verlander and Dylan Cease that year. As Ramirez is out in front of the changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Remember that All-Star game in 2022? He was all mic'd up and he struck out the side. Only the 2nd Blue Jay pitcher to ever do that in an All-Star game, along with Dave Steve. At that time, Alek Manoah was on top of the baseball world. It has been a lengthy fall since then, but he's trying to work his way back up, and he's still young enough to figure it out, just 28 years old. As Ramirez fouls it off. For more on Manoah, let's go down to Erica.
Gilby, you mentioned his stride. It's not always been that long. It's been the same distance for a while now, but a couple of years ago, no. He said right now he's using his legs a lot more than he ever has, so he's trying to use that to his advantage so he can get more extension out there.
Yeah, that allows that fastball, even though it might be 92, 93, but when you have that kind of a stride, you're closer to the plate, it plays firmer. That same thing with Jared Weaver towards the end when he was losing a little bit on his velocity on his fastball, but his stride was so long, it was still quick enough to get on you and get you out with a fastball.
It's a dramatic step forward from Manoah, and he strikes out Jose Ramirez, 2 up, 2 down.
Now that was a slider that was so effective in 22. I mean, it was a wipeout pitch.
It's a big hook.
You see the stride. I mean, he's a big guy out there to begin with. How much he's able to get extension. Look how far down on that pitching mound he's able to go to now.
2 out, nobody on in the 4th inning. I mean, it looks like he's trying to step over a large puddle.
Yeah.
Every time he fires the ball home. I mean, it is a dramatic step. With his arms flailing, and he's a big guy. 6'6", 285 is what he's listed at. Might be a little lower than the 285, but he's all of the 6'6".
Yes. Now, when you look at it at home, you're seeing 92, but that plays about 94, 95 from that stride.
2 balls, no strikes on Hoskins, who had a walk and a run scored last inning. Manoah was a first-round pick in 2018, only the second first-round pick in the history of West Virginia University. His brother Eric at one time was an Angels minor leaguer, actually played with Joe Adell down in the Angels organization. Ball 4 to Hoskins, who walks with 2 outs. Kyle Manzardo will stand in with 2 away. 2-run scored for Manzardo in this one with a broken bat base hit that got the 2nd inning rally started. He walked and scored his last time. All 7 Cleveland RBIs have come from their 6 through 9 hitters today. Fry has an RBI. Then you have 7, 8, 9 Schneemann, Bazzana, Rocchio with 2 each.
Pretty good pitch there too for Manoah, not called a strike.
It's like a very tight strike zone.
Yes.
And with both teams out of challenges, Jonathan Parra can make it look however he wants the rest of the way.
Back to that changeup again.
2 balls and no strikes for Manoah. It was 709 days between major league appearances when he got on the mound over the weekend in Toronto.
Boy, was he amped up after that too.
(3-0) the count on Manzardo. This is an opportunity for Manoah, after he pitched just 1 inning in that game against the Blue Jays, to extend himself today.
And he just threw 11 pitches in that inning. 1, 2, 3 inning.
See Walbert Urania tomorrow for the Angels against Ciccone. Reed Detmers due to pitch Wednesday against Parker Messick.
Battle some really good young left-handers.
Full count on Manzardo, so Hoskins will take off here on 3-2. It's a liner foul. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Now you could go back to that changeup again. It was a good one, but now if you go to that outside part of the plate and keep it down like that, it'd be very difficult to make contact with it.
Fly ball right center, hit pretty well. It's Joe Adell after it toward the gap at the warning track, making the catch to end the inning. Alek Manoah puts up a 0 in the 4th.
Wings for just $19.99.
Shakey's People's Pizza Parlor.
Get ready for the World Cup when we bring the pitch to the Big A with an Angels soccer jersey. The first 25,000 fans Friday, June 12th against the Rays will take home an Angels soccer jersey. Well, they call it a kit. Courtesy of Miller Children's and Women's Hospital, angels.com/promotions. Isn't it a kit?
It's a goal.
Sebastian Rivero looks at a strike from Cantillo, who's trying to get through 5 innings with a lead. Would give him his 3rd win of the year should the Guardians hold on from there. Cantillo's had some strange moments in the postseason as a young pitcher. In one of his first big league really appearances was during the 2024 American League Championship Series. He pitched game 1 of that ALCS against the Yankees, and he uncorked 4 wild pitches facing just 4 batters. 1 ball, 2 strikes on
I can
Rivera.
relate to that.
It didn't really crack him like it did Rick Ankiel, and the only other person you could even think of along those lines is Ankiel. Maybe Mark Wohlers too. But Ankiel was never the same again after that 5 wild pitch effort he had in the postseason as a Cardinal, as Rivero fouls out. But this guy Cantillo had 4 wild pitches.
That is unreal.
In a postseason game in the American League Championship Series, and he kind of just shook it off.
Well, he is really, really good the first 2 times through a lineup. And it changes up quite a bit dramatically the 3rd time through, but it's pretty amazing to be able to bounce back like that, especially when you're in the postseason.
And then last year against the Tigers in the elimination game for the Guardians, he gave up the go-ahead home run. It was Dylan Dingler who took Cantillo deep in the 6th inning of that 3rd and final game in the wild card series that gave the Tigers the lead and ultimately the win. Cantillo was the losing pitcher in that last playoff game for the Guardians last year. 1 ball, 1 strike on Teodosio.
Was able to run that 91, then 93 by Teodosio upstairs.
Teodosio popped up his first time leaving the bases loaded in the 2nd inning. That was the Angels' best scoring chance so far against Cantillo, who throws what he says is a Vulcan grip changeup.
Played with a guy named Mike Boddicker who had that grip too on his changeup.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Teodosio. That ball's driven left center field. Kwan, though, with a couple of steps in, and he has it 2 up, 2 down. Over Mike Boddicker on the Orioles, right?
Yeah, remember he had an incredible run his rookie season, I think it was, in the postseason. I think he had a record for strikeouts for a rookie in the postseason. He didn't have a pitch. Still living in that Kansas City area now. He grew up in Iowa.
He's the ALCS MVP in 1983. When the Orioles defeated the White Sox, he had 14 strikeouts in a 5-hit shutout in one of those games. And then he threw another complete game in the World Series against the Phillies. He went 18 innings with no earned runs allowed and 20 strikeouts in that '83 playoff. Neto grounds out. Joey Cantillo with a very quick 1-2 3/5. 7-0. The Guardians lead. 2 in the second, 5 in the third. This is Alek Manoah's second inning of work. And this ultimately a bullpen game in which Manoah was to be the bulk pitcher. And he enters with this game seeing the Angels already down by several runs. David Fry leads off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. I mean, ultimately it becomes an evaluation night for Manoah to see if the Angels believe he can be a major league starter for this ball club, as Fry grounds one fair down the left field side. Extra bases for Fry, who's been on base 3 times. It's a leadoff double here in the 5th.
He was able to bring his hands in and keep that one fair down the line. Just runs it in. Hands quick on that inside part of the plate. And found that spot right down the line. Hit well, but not crushed again by the Guardians. Generally, they make contact. They've done that for a number of years.
Here's Schneemann, who had a 2-run base hit in the 3rd inning, also scored a run. Schneemann really can play all over the place. He has started a bunch of games in center field this year. He's an infielder as well. San Diego native, was drafted in the 33rd round back in 2018.
Which you won't see anymore.
No. He's capped at 20 now. There's a bouncer foul. He might even shorten more down the road. Who knows?
Well, you see so often now you have guys playing center field, other corner outfield position that were infielders to start with. So many now in the game.
One ball, one strike on Schneemann. It's a fly ball to left as Teodosio centers it up.
It's like the way he gets himself in good throwing position, just in case Fry would tag up on that one.
One out as Fry stays put. Brings up Pizzano. Comes up to men at work.
He came from the land down under.
The Australian-born Pizzana, #1 pick in the 2024 draft. At 407 his last year at Oregon State with 28 homers and 66 RBIs in just 60 games playing a collegiate season. One thing about Pizzana that has stood out is that he is very patient. And he walked his first time in a 2-run double in his last at bat. But his swing rate is among the lowest in the major leagues so far. The most patient hitter in that regard, the guy who swings the least of any major league hitter, you could probably guess because you watched him do it all the time as an Angel, Taylor Ward. And Pizzana's swing rate is only just a couple ticks higher than Taylor Ward's.
Yeah, Taylor was content on always hitting his pitch, and if you didn't throw in that zone, he would take it and force you to keep trying to hit that spot, anticipating you weren't going to be able to do it throughout the whole game.
Pizzana does take a big swing there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pizzana getting used to life in the U.S., getting used to life in the major leagues now. He's drawn a lot of walks so far in his major league career. He has a chance for one here. 3 balls and 1 strike is the count. This is for Pizzana. Only his 12th major league game. He's already walked 11 times while striking out just 6. includes 1 walk already tonight, and the count here 3-1.
It's like DeLauder too, the same thing. He's got more walks than strikeouts himself this year. 1 more walk again tonight. It's impressive when you see young guys with that kind of patience at the plate.
Zana just 23 years old. So he looks at a strike here, and it's 3-2. Cleveland out of challenges. The Angels are as well. Both teams burned theirs up early. A game that Guardians have pulled away in early, scoring twice in the 2nd inning and 5 in the 3rd. And there's another walk for Bazana, so that's 12 walks against only 6 strikeouts. He's walked twice as much as he has struck out so far in the big leagues.
On base 3 times today, all 3.
2 walks and that 2-run double. 2 base runners now for the Guardians in this inning, as Rocchio will bat after we get a taste of Jack in the Box.
Get my new Smash Jack Sliders Munchie Meal for a chance to win $75,000.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
2 on with 1 out as Rocchio bats at a 2-run single, his first time giving the Guardians the lead here at Progressive Field, which is over 30 years old now. But you got to pitch at the Mistake by the Lake, Cleveland Municipal Stadium.
Yeah.
The wind swirling in off Lake Erie.
Many a times you would hear the groundskeeper, they would bring the tarp on. I'm looking, it was sunny out. It goes, it's raining at the airport. And next thing you know, about 2 seconds later, it was raining on the field.
How many hot dog wrappers did you trip over
yes.
at Cleveland Municipal Stadium?
Yes.
1 ball and 1 strike on Rocchio. I've never ever seen a highlight of that old Cleveland Stadium where it looked like a nice place to visit. Never did it look inviting or warm or embracing.
One game, well, it didn't turn out well for us with the Royals. There was like 70-some thousand people came to the game on a 4th of July. It was the loudest place I've ever been in my life. And then the next day there'd be like 4, and you heard every single one of them there screaming at you.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Back when they had the old multi-purpose stadiums, the Cleveland Browns played there too. Well, the Angels would know about that. The Rams played at the Big A for many years. It was formerly a multi-purpose stadium. Here's a bouncer foul pass first. People that are younger, 30 and younger, probably don't even know that term. A multi-purpose stadium.
Like everyone was like that. You know, you had all those ones like Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, St. Louis. They all look exactly the same.
And then in the second half of the season, once the NFL got started, you know, you were seeing football games being played over infields. As Rocchio, it's a chopper to first base. Shotwell fires to second for 1. Neto dropped the ball on the return throw. They will call Bazana out on the force, with Neto dropping that ball in transition.
Good play by Shotwell there too. It's good feed on the transfer, just trying to be quick.
Been a tough play with Manoah covering first. 2 outs and Kwan batting. With the NFL so streamlined now, billions of dollars that the league makes every year. Every field looks so pristine. Stadiums are glistening every Sunday and Saturday and Monday and Thursday.
Well, I remember when the Raiders went back to Oakland and they had the football games going there with the Lions, for the football stadium, and how it was so tough. You, as an outfielder, you had to make sure you looked that baseball into your glove, because that outfield grass was chewed up pretty good from the football players.
You had football players being tackled at shortstop back in the 80s and 90s and before that. 2 balls and no strikes on Kwan. It's unfathomable now to think about it like that, but it was the norm in the later parts of the baseball season, to see the baseball infield still in place and the football games just being played over it.
Well, we were just showing the other day up in Toronto, the exhibition stadium, when the Argonauts played in the same as the Blue Jays.
They had a Zamboni to get some of the snow off the field before one of the first times.
3-0 is the count on Kwan. Skydome is really the first new ballpark that I remember as a young baseball fan. So the fact that you played at Exhibition Stadium, that makes me want to go digging for your dinosaur bones.
I appreciate that. Oh, man.
Kwan draws a walk to load the bases again. Seems like Cleveland's had the bases loaded in just about every inning tonight. Team that only was 4 for 25 over the last 2 games with runners in scoring position. Guardians tonight have gone 3 for 10. As DeLauder stands in here against Manoah. They could sing about West Virginia together.
Yes, we're all singing with John Denver. Country Road.
There's a strike to DeLauder, walked and scored in the 3rd. DeLauder making home runs within his first few major league games. Went deep twice in his first.
That's a good pitch there again.
Ball, 1 strike. You think 7-0 Jonathan Parr would open up the strike zone a little bit.
Just a little below.
DeLauder, the first player in a decade to hit 2 home runs in his regular season major league debut. Trevor Story was the last before him.
He's about as important as anybody on this team, because you know with Jose Ramirez you're going to pitch around him, but he's getting a lot more pitches to hit because you have Ramirez behind him.
2 balls and a strike. Well, he's performed so far. OPS close to 900 and average close to 300 for DeLauder. He jolts this one to right. Now Dell backs up, leaps and makes the catch. Good play by Adele. As Cleveland leaves them loaded in the 5th, but they still have a 7-run lead. And there it is.
At the Big A, and get your tickets now at angels.com/tickets.
When you think about the lineage of Cleveland baseball, you go back to the mid-90s when they had all those powerful teams, including Albert, don't call me Joey Bell.
You know what? For me, Wayne, you can make an argument. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he obviously the hip ended his career, slowed down his career, but he was about as tough as an out as you could ever find. Great numbers for that short period of time. He was phenomenal. I mean, he was phenomenal.
Almost kind of a Ralph Kiner-esque career for Albert Bell, in which it was basically just 10 years of dominance, and that was it. You know, Ralph Kiner was the same thing. It was just 10 years. He had 350 homers in 10 years. And Albert Bell essentially did the same thing, hitting about 375 homers in 10 years. So if Ralph Kiner's a Hall of Famer, you have a really good case for Albert Bell.
I mean, you look at Sandy Koufax, too. We had that incredible 5-year run where no one in the world was better than Sandy Koufax.
There's a ground ball base hit for Trout, just his 2nd hit of the road trip, as he's on to lead off the 6th inning. 95 ball club for Cleveland, often talked about as the kickstarter of that era for the Indians. And
just look at that lineup.
It's a murderer's row type of deal.
Ballies, Sorrento, he was in spring training with the Halos this year.
And Eddie Murray still had some left in the tank too at that time.
Carlos Baerga was here today.
Jim Thome over 600 home runs. Manny Ramirez. This was before they got Roberto Alomar. By the time '97 came around, they had Robbie Alomar, along with his brother Sandy.
Sandy hit number 9 in that lineup. There's Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos Baerga does
a great hitter too.
Spanish radio. There's 25 for Jim Thome, who went over 600 homers in the major leagues. Grissom looks at a strike.
I still can't believe that Albert Bell didn't win the MVP in '95, where he had what, 50+ home runs, 50+ doubles, 150 RBI, and he did win the MVP.
Why would he win the MVP doing that?
Yeah.
Mo Vaughn beat him, and it beat him barely. It was one of the closest MVP races in history.
Don't get me wrong, Mo Vaughn had a great year, but you look at Albert's year, I mean, that was unreal, his season. I think I might have gotten his book that year, too. Got me a couple times.
There's a chopper right to the second baseman, Bazana. That'll be an academic double play from there. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Here's Eddie Murray, and here's Albert Bell introducing himself to Fernando Vina.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, just pick up your helmet, walk back. Hey, how you doing? By the way, we had a couple bench clearing brawls that he was involved in twice, charging him out. That was no fun.
Just a big bad dude right there, Albert Bell. Slapped the other way, a base hit for Soler with 2 outs. Remember when the White Sox signed Albert Bell going into 1997, and they thought they were going to the World Series. They thought he was the last piece of the puzzle for a team that had been close a couple of times, 93 and 94. They signed Albert Bell, and they thought this is it. They had a good year for them, but they never did quite get there.
This crossword puzzles, he just got through them in no time. He was unreal. I mean, he was away from the field. He was a completely different person. But on the field, he was all business.
Trout with his base hit has now reached base safely in 24 straight games against Cleveland. You have to go back to 2017 for the last time Trout started a game against the Guardians and did not get on base. Joe Adell at the plate with 2 down.
It's that 3rd time through for Cantillo. We mentioned those numbers. 353 so far, 2 hits 3rd time through of the 4 batters.
And they hardly even let him go this long. If he pitches through this inning here, it'll be just the 2nd time this season he's made it through 6. See the OPS 3 times around, not so good for Cantillo. With a bigger lead today, might as well let him trying to conquer the 3rd time through the order. Swing and a miss by Joe.
I think the only way to be able to be successful is have him try to do that. Because then eventually you're going to need him if your bullpen gets worn out during the course of a long season. And the more you do it and try it, the more confidence you're going to have to going through the 3rd time through. And there really is no reason, in my opinion, that should be a big difference. Because if you've gotten hitters out the first time, 2 times through the lineup, why should it be any different? Unless you start thinking and doubting and changing up what you got them out the first 2 times, well, you just continue the same way you got them out before until they make that adjustment to you at the plate.
That ball ripped to left, a base hit for Adell into the left field corner. Soler's on his way to 3rd base. He'll be stopped there. Joe Adell slams a double. That's the 3rd hit of this inning for the Angels.
And another baseball hit hard in the air by Joe Adell. I was going to say it's got to be about 110, 111 off the bat. It's a rocket. It's 110.8 off the bat.
So Carl Willis comes out as we see Cantillo's 3rd time through the order issues start to rear. And the Guardians will keep Cantillo out there for now while the Angels are still down by quite a bit. Nolan Shonowell's had 2 hits tonight against Cantillo. We'll see if he can make it 3 for 3 and drive in first halo runs tonight after we take a quick ride with Kia.
Now batting for Los Angeles, number 18, Nolan Shonowell.
Shonowell lined a double his last time, smoked a base hit in the 2nd as well, has 2 in scoring position here. Angels only have one less hit than Cleveland, but the impact of the base on balls certainly stands out, helping the Guardians along in the second and the third. Those base hits turned out to be productive. Shonowell tied up there. It's 0-2. Angels pitchers walking at least 6 batters in a game 14 different times this year. Angels record just 3-10 in those other 13.
Put a lot of pressure on your defense. First of all, it's tough to be on your toes when you're having those kind of walks. You want to be ready to go. The prep step ready. It's tough when there's a lot of walks like that.
1-2, and as you could tell, with the record being what it is, 9 under overall, 7 under in those games. So if the Angels would just throw more strikes, and you point to the bullpen especially in that regard, they'd be a lot better off. Still 1 ball 2 strikes on Shonowell.
Juan's moved in there a little bit in left field to take away that base hit that way by Shonowell. He's got a lot of room if he turned on something, especially an all-speed pitch to right center field.
2 balls 2 strikes. Looped foul, and it stays 2-2.
Might have broke his bat. Yes, he did on that one.
Tampa Bay leading Toronto tonight 5-3. That game's in the 4th. Rays got out to a 5-0 lead. They've been red hot. Drew Rasmussen starting in that one. Odd to see even the Rays give up some runs in this game. Toronto does have 3. Andres Jimenez driving them all in with a home run.
Tell you what, they had some packed house there for 3 straight games in Toronto.
Pretty much all sellouts in the series against the Angels. Kevin Gausman, his 2,000th career strikeout tonight. Little tapper near the mound out in front of home plate, grabbed by Fry, and his throw ends the innings. The Angels continue to be shut out despite 3 hits in this inning. They don't score. Angels.com/ticket plans or call 714-4-ANGELS for more info on the ticket package that's best for you this year. Pick the games and don't miss out on great seats at the best price. Angels.com/ticket plans or 714-4-ANGELS. There's that good slider from Manoah to Jose Ramirez. Struck him out on it in the 4th inning. This is the 3rd inning of work for Manoah. He's yet to give up a run. Ramirez 0 for 3 today. Guardians have won some games without Ramirez at his best offensively this year, and tonight's a good example with all 7 runs driven in by the bottom part of Cleveland's lineup tonight. Two balls and a strike on Ramirez. Yankees lead Baltimore tonight 2-0. Ryan Withers has no hit the Orioles through 5 innings. Ben Rice is homered for New York.
He's put together a great start to the season too. We always talk a lot about Aaron Judge.
Rice now has 13 home runs on the year. Yankees are a game behind the Rays now for the top spot in the American League. Only 3 teams are above 500. The Rays and Yankees are well over. The A's are 2 games over, and that's it. Cleveland would be a game over if they win tonight. Chopper off the bat of Ramirez, scooped up by Peraza. Ramirez 0 for 4.
Another good changeup from Manoah. Now, if he can get that slider going, he threw a good one to strike out Ramirez first time up, and then even that at bat there to start the sequence. He has that going. That'll help him out a lot. That was a devastating pitch at one point when he was an all-star just a few years ago, because he doesn't quite have the velocity.
Rhys Hoskins fouls one back. No balls and a strike.
Again, that extension on the drive to the plate helps out that fastball. Same thing with the slider. Will be a sharper break at the plate.
Keep an eye for that leap over the puddle. Manoah does on each pitch. I mean, it is an extended step. Two balls and one strike.
See how far down he gets on that mound, that drive, lower half. When you're that big, using that lower half is so important. You see where he's landing now, because where he's landing with his heel, that's where the toe is at when they're landing. So it's a little bit of an uncomfortable landing spot for him. That's how far he's extended down the mound. He's landing on his heel where the pitchers before him are landing with the toe.
Was cranked foul by Hoskins, still 2-2.
See how far he is landing right there. And where you see before the pitcher, Cantillo is way up in front of that one.
What do you think size cleat Manoah wears?
I think he could use Shaquille O'Neal's sneaker.
Hoskins draws a walk, and it's got to be a size 15 at least. Third time Hoskins has drawn a walk today. He walks as that for this game. Losing count.
5, 7, 8, 9.
That is too many.
Yeah, nine walks.
Here is Manzardo, who has singled, walked, and scored twice in this game. Ball one from Manoah. Where's all the basketball folks? That game about to start, or already has started, I guess. I didn't see a lot of walking over there. Rocket Arena. Cavs are trying to let them know. That's what it says all over the city. Let them know. Let them know what? 2 balls, no strikes. I've been trying to figure that out all day.
We're here.
And there it is. The Cavs and the Pistons, game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinal is underway, with Detroit up 2-1 in that series. Winner will play the Knicks in the Eastern Conference final. James Harden on that Cleveland team.
LA native.
Donovan Mitchell as well.
He's a great player.
His dad actually works for the Mets, Donovan Mitchell Sr. Their community relations department. Went from, yeah, my kid plays basketball at Louisville, to, yeah, he got drafted in the first round, to, yeah, he's one of the top 10 players in the league.
Yeah. He's doing pretty good. When the Mets are going right now, he goes, my kid's really good. That's all he's going to stay with.
3 balls and a strike on Manzardo. Been a miserable start for the Mets. Only team entering today on a 100-loss pace in the major leagues. There's a fly ball to right center as Manzardo tags that. Back for Trout out near the wall. It's off the wall. Hoskins will be held at third base. Manzardo just missed a homer. It's a 1-out double off the wall in right center.
It's a pretty good carry to that one too. He had to go in and challenge him. Mentioned earlier about his power. It showed it right there. He's been on base 3 times himself today.
27 home runs last year.
He thought he got that one himself.
A long way out there to right center.
Think of all those years Kenny Lofton going over that wall to bring back would-be home runs. He had one of the most unbelievable catches. It felt like half of his body was over that wall.
Well, 1 to David Fry, who's been on base 3 times. A single, a walk, a double, a run scored, and a run batted in. And all the runs from the Guardians have been driven in by the bottom of their order today. 2 RBIs from each of their 7, 8, and 9 hitters, plus the 1 RBI for Fry. The ball is hooked foul with the infield in. Ryan Weathers is now through 6 innings in his no-hit bid in Baltimore tonight.
Baltimore 5 games under 500. There was a lot of excitement about that club after all the offense they added.
Yeah, Pete Alonso's heated up so far in the month of May. Taylor Ward still only has 1 homer this year.
He's cooled off a little bit of late, hitting about 260 now. But a lot of doubles for Taylor Ward.
Just don't hear that much about their young players anymore. There's Fry popping one up behind first. Shotwell trying to retrieve it, makes the catch in foul ground. That's the 2nd out. You know, Rutschman, Henderson, Samuel Basayo's just now getting to be a major league regular. And Jordan Westburg's been hurt a lot, but Cowser, I mean, these guys are all coming up together. The impact has not been quite what they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a team to be reckoned with for years and years to come. Under new ownership.
Just has not really happened that way for the Orioles. You know, Gunnar Henderson's hitting .207 to start the year. Kobe Mayo, another guy who hasn't taken off. Here's a grounder as Shotwell backhands it. Manoah does pitch out of trouble here in the 6th.
It's up another 0.
Sometimes the biggest move is playing it small.
Yippee-yi-yay, tasty Smash Jack sliders. Yippee-yi-yo, try my Smash Jack sliders.
Try my new Smash Jack sliders.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Summer is a gift. A gift of days that last a little longer. A brighter state of mind. So look out for these stickers and gift yourself a new Kia during the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event, where every SUV and sedan comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months, plus $750 retail bonus cash on specially tagged 2026 Sorento and Sportage vehicles.
Put a lime on your to-do list. Corona, La Playa awaits.
There's a car barreling towards me, but all I can think about is how stuck I feel trying to get out of debt.
Should I be wearing a helmet? Everybody else seems to be wearing helmets.
Like, seriously, saving any money feels impossible.
You've been doing great. And you always have your big financial friend to help you navigate your finances.
My finances are turning around.
Experian, your big financial friend, is always by your side.
Gives way to Matt Festa, who pitched in 63 games last year. You know, Stephen Vogt not afraid to use up that bullpen over the course of 6 or 7 months. He'll get those guys out there for 60, 70 appearances. The guys that he trusts the most, at least. Festa has had a struggle to start this year, and he hit Peraza right in the back. So the Angels get a base runner to start the 7th inning. Peraza on base for the 2nd time today.
That's a break ball that slipped out of his hand.
Brings up Rivero with nobody out. Peraza now at first base. Meets Ohio's own Adam Eaton over there. From Springfield, Ohio, initially. Adam Eaton went to high school in Springfield at Kenton Ridge High School. A few major leaguers went there, including Dave Burba.
Or pitcher.
All pitchers went there besides Eaton. Dustin Hermanson and Rick White. Two balls, no strikes on Rivero. Adam Eaton came up in Diamondbacks organization. Saw him as a minor leaguer at Double-A Mobile. Not getting any younger when these guys are coaches now.
Yes.
That I saw as minor league players.
Now you feel my pain.
I do. Josh Lowe is on deck. Teodosio due up, but right-hander on the mound. Lowe might get a swing here. Rivero swings here and misses to make it 3-2. Rivero down on strikes, and that's the first out here in the 7th inning, as Lowe will now come off the bench to bat for Teodosio.
Looking for something all speed there. He does throw a lot of them. He ran that four-seamer and stayed on that same plane above the strike zone. Got him.
Remember when Adam Eaton was in the Southern League, the Cubs had a prospect named Tony Campana, who was in the major leagues for a little while. He was more known as a speed guy than anything else. And the Cubs had this scout he was touting up Campana named Jim Crawford. They call him the Crawdaddy. He would go around the Southern League, and you'd have to try to make out what he was saying through his accent and all the tobacco. But Crawdaddy was great, a hilarious guy, and he was trying to talk up Campana as Josh Lowe. It's a fly ball to right field. And I said, Campana's fast, but I think Adam Eaton's a lot better player. You know, Adam Eaton can do everything. So Crawdaddy went through the list. Well, can he hit better than Campana? And I said, yes. Can he throw better than Campana? And I said, yes. He could do it. He's a great player, I'm telling you. And then he said, well, can he run better than Campana? And I said, well, no, probably not. Campana's probably faster. And Crawdaddy said, that's right. Nobody runs faster than Tony Campana. And that's really all Tony Campana did in the major leagues, was run fast. Adam Eaton was a good player.
Yes. World champion. By the way, that Southern League, that was easy travel, wasn't it?
From Mobile, no.
Yeah, for those bus trips, about 15, 16 hours. Oh, yeah. Extremely hot.
Yeah, we had to go from Mobile to Zebulon, North Carolina. It was about 14 hours.
It's comfortable on the bus, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, Adam Eaton and I are about the same size, so we were able to sneak in and get a good cozy spot just fine. So the bigger guys might have had even.
Yeah, that was no fun.
1 ball, 1 strike on Neto. He fouls one off to make it 1-2. Neto's 0 for 3 today.
Got to get him going again. Just build that confidence. That no-hitter's gone now.
Who broke it up? Was it Taylor Ward?
Rutschman.
Rutschman's hit over 300.
Yeah, he's been much, much better this season.
But Henderson hasn't. It's been the opposite.
No. Yeah, he really struggled last year, really.
Yeah. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Neto. Just a tough sport, and it's tough to be consistent. That's why you appreciate a guy like Trout or Jose Ramirez, who year in and year out are on all-star teams, MVP votes, putting up numbers every single season. It seems almost impossible for a regular guy to do it. You almost have to be one of these supernatural elite players to be good every single season, the way that those guys have been.
And Wayne, every pitcher that faces those two, they're throwing their best pitches, and their focus is so laser sharp because they're facing the very best in the game. That's why it's even more impressive what they've done. Because every time you faced, like say when I was coming, Reggie Jackson, I was throwing as hard as I could, my best pitches every single time. Kirby Puckett or Dave Winfield. I mean, that's what they have to face every single night, Ramirez and Trout.
Neto off the end of his bat, lines one toward right center, over the head of Bazzana. It's a base hit. So Neto's on the board today, moves Peraza to third, and Trout will have a chance to get the Angels on the board.
Nice job there by Neto. It's a pretty tough pitch. Was off the plate too, and just punched it into the outfield.
For Los Angeles, the center fielder, number 27, Mike Trout.
Trout had a base hit his last time as Carl Willis comes out. We will hear from Echo right now.
It's time to go yard. Echo, power on and on.
If they say it's time to go yard, who are we to argue?
Yes.
Trout's at 11 homers this year. 9 of them have come away from the Big A.
Carl Willis going back to that dugout. Been doing that a long, long time.
Takes him a long, long time to walk back and forth from the mound to the dugout.
We're competing against him on the mound on the other side. This is an opponent.
One of these days we're going to do a high or low age edition with you and your peers.
Yeah.
See who's older and who's younger. The answers might be surprising sometimes. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm not going to name names. There's one bench coach you might not guess is younger, who actually is younger than you. Two balls, 1 strike on Trout. We're gonna get that game on one day. I'm not naming any names. If you had to guess older or younger, you might be surprised. That's all I'm saying. 2-1. And now 3-1 on Trout.
Good chance Trout is going to get a fastball right here. As we move along.
And here's ball 4, so the bases are loaded, and now Vaughn Grissom due up as the Angels look to get back in this game. Second time they've had the bases loaded tonight.
Another walk for Trout.
Grissom is 0 for 3. He has swung the bat well largely this year. Had 2 hits in the game yesterday. Colin Holderman throwing in the Cleveland pen now. Grissom had a hanger there.
Oh, yes, he did. Best if there's a lot of sweepers. A lot of them, especially early in the count. There's a hanger right in the middle of the plate.
Grissom hit into a double play his last time. Bases full here in the 7th. Angels trying to get a hit and get on the board. But now it's 0-2. Lined fouls. Grissom stays alive late on that fastball.
Yeah, but you can see what he was trying to do. He's trying to shorten up and make sure he made contact. That's what's been successful for the Guardians here tonight.
Hit batsmen, a single and a walk have loaded the bases. Angels down 7-0. It's been this score since the 3rd. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Grissom. Long inning for Festo, who's thrown 26 pitches in relief of Cantillo.
You gotta believe he's going to come back to that sweeper here. See if you get that middle part of the plate again.
Cutter fouled off. Hunter Gaddis getting up as well for Cleveland. That's in case the Angels get back in this one. Grissom with a liner right center. Schneemann gets over, though. He's there, and he's got it to end the inning. Angels load him up but don't score. That's a nice looking night, although it's chillier than you'd like for a spring baseball game. But summer weather is not far away here in northern Ohio, and Alek Manoah pitching 3 innings tonight without giving up a run. 64 pitches thrown. He has walked 4. He's given up a couple of doubles, but he has kept Cleveland off the board at least since entering the game, and he Deals ball one to Pisano. What do you make out of what you've seen from Manoah?
You know, I think he'll get better as far as, I mean, even in some couple minor league assignments, he had some walks. Once he gets more confident in his stuff again, and that's, you know, it's hard to do that after you were a dominant pitcher like he was just a few years ago. You're more reluctant to challenge middle part of the plate. Once he gets that confidence going in that slider and changeup, as Josh Lowe out in left field, that he's going to be better because he's as competitive as you're going to find on the mound.
That's a strike to Pisano, who had a 2-run double earlier. He's walked twice in this game. 9 bases on balls issued by Angels pitchers tonight, and they paid for them, especially in the 3rd inning.
So that's a much better changeup, that one. One before, you just kind of cut it a little bit on the inside part, but that was a great one there. This kid's got a good eye.
Well, he just takes everything.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
If you even need a good eye with how often he swings, I mean, he's just decided not to really swing at anything. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Pisano. We mentioned he's walked 12 times while only striking out 6 so far as a big leaguer. Swings and misses here for strike 3, a foul tip. Punches him out.
3 pretty good changeups in that sequence.
He's thrown 70 pitches, so the Angels keeping him stretched out here today. We take a look at our Allstate Good Hands replay on this changeup.
Yeah, he was able to turn this one over pretty good there to be able to get a foul tip swing and miss. A little bit less. The first changeup he threw had more of a spin rate. You don't want to have a high spin rate necessarily on your changeup there. It took a little bit more off the velocity. Both of them were good ones.
Rocchio lines out to Shotwell. 2 outs here in the 7th.
Stepping to the plate for the Guardians, left fielder, number 38, Steven.
Brings up Kwan, who is 0 for 3 with a walk. Only game where the Angels walked more than 9 was April 25th in Kansas City when they walked 10 in a 12-1 loss. Lost 14-1 against Toronto the other day. 7-0 here. Some of these scores have really been lopsided on the road. And some of these losses for the Angels. Yesterday broke an 8-game road losing streak, but right back on the wrong end of one here.
I mean, you look at the numbers offensively, though, you know, power wise, the Halos have been much better, more productive as far as that part of the game on the road than at home. Some games have gotten away from them.
Well, the loss here, the Angels would be 8-16 on the road. Have not won back-to-back road games since those first 2 games of the year in Houston.
Joe Adell with 2 home runs on the road yesterday, and Peraza 1, 2, 3 of them.
It's really that 3rd game in Houston when we saw the bullpen let one go for the first time. Remember, they had a 6-0 lead in that game in Houston and lost. Lost a tighter game in the finale there. Angels have had a hard time securing wins on the road ever since.
Especially go back to that back-to-back games, one in Kansas City on that Sunday night and then a Monday game in Chicago.
And then the Wednesday game in Chicago as well after that. They had 3 games where they had late leads.
Even there's a couple in New York too. They could have won all 4 against the Yankees, the best record in the American League outside the Rays, of course.
And 2 losses there with leads in the 9th inning. So a lot of games where the Angels could have banked wins that they were unable to, as Kwan draws a walk. Cleveland is going to go to their bench here. Petey Halpin will be in place of DeLauder. I wonder if that's because of the score or if something else happened to DeLauder. But Halpin will be the batter now.
DeLauder's so important to this team. So important.
That's why when you look at the record after tonight, they'll be 10 under if they don't come back. And there were so many games that they could have banked wins that if they could have just held on to some leads, you know, having this run of defeats wouldn't feel like it was so devastating to the team's overall record and standings, because they would have had some more wins in the bank. And right now in the American League West and the American League in general, It doesn't take much to be in the playoff conversation at the moment. Cleveland in first place in their division, and they're just 500. 500 in the AL West would put you just one game out of first.
Yes. Seattle's playing Houston. Houston has had some big time struggles this year. Seattle the same.
A walk to Kwan was the 10th issued by the Angels today and the 5th by Manoah. So some things to like from Manoah, but certainly some other things you can point to as being signs of potential struggle out there. Although again, no runs allowed is the big takeaway so far here.
By the way, how often the no-hitter goes away, and before you know, so does the lead go away. As Baltimore now leads, man, with a 3-run home run. Lead the Yankees now 3-2.
Yankees lost a couple of games over the weekend in Milwaukee, including yesterday when Bryce Terang hit a walk-off home run.
The Miz was throwing everything about 103 miles an hour against them.
Yeah, that was a pretty good showing by Mizorowski the other day. Brewers won their series over the weekend against the Yankees. It's Kobe Mayo with a home run for the Orioles, giving them the lead. Let's see if they can hold it at Camden Yards tonight. Seattle's up 2-0 on Houston early in that game. Mariners lost a series against the White Sox over the weekend. Blew a lead themselves in the 8th inning yesterday.
It hasn't been as locked down, the Mariners bullpen this year, as we've seen over the last number of seasons.
As Bizzardo gave up that ball game late for Seattle yesterday. Fly ball to shallow left. As Lowe is there, and that will end the 7th.
Another shutout inning for Manoah.
USC. Together, we are limitless.
Angels Baseball on ABTV is brought to you by StubHub, proud partner of Angels Baseball. By Villa Ford of Orange, step up to the plate and drive home a winner today at Villa Ford of Orange. And by Pechanga Resorts Casino. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga, conveniently located off the I-15 in Temecula. This is Colin Holderman, the new pitcher for the Guardians, dealing ball 1 to Soler.
He's got a pretty firm fastball. You saw that at 97, 95, 99 slider, the sweeper cutter.
Cleveland with a couple of outfield changes. Petey Halpin stays in the game to play center field. And they've put Angel Martinez in the game to play right field. Schneemann is out. Ball 3 to Soler in this 7-0 game. The Angels have had some base runners. They've had 6 hits, a couple of walks, a hit batsman. They've had the bases loaded twice. They've left 9 men on base. Shut out to this point. Angels were shut out for the first time this season last week by the White Sox, and then again by the Blue Jays on Friday. So after having the longest streak in the majors without a shutout, it's happened a couple of times in the last week. Need to get on the board here in the 8th or the 9th to avoid a shutout today. Full count on Soler. It's 3-2. He had a base hit his last time. He takes ball 4. Tight strike zone here tonight with those challenges gone early, and Jonathan Parra seems to be squeezing the plate.
This feels like with that sinker that Alderman has, this would be a good matchup for Joe Adell because he's so good on that fastball down.
Nice strike here from Holderman.
Go back to Hyundai key for the game today. in the air tonight. Well, got one in the air again tonight for Joe Dell for a double. Continue that trend. He's going to be able to do some serious damage.
Count is now 0-2.
He's elevated that sinker a couple different times now against Joe Dell.
Dell ripped a double his last time, which moved Soler to third base, but they were both stranded when Shonowell grounded out. Now Soler will go to second on a wild pitch. Game 2 of this series tomorrow night. It'll be the same time as today, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, with Walbert Urania back on the mound after his first big league win last week against the White Sox, feasting Slade Ciccone here tomorrow. Urania's been really sharp his last couple of starts.
The interesting thing about Ciccone, the right-handed batters are really hitting him well. Kind of reverse splits for him.
See if that gets Peraza back in there tomorrow. He's been on base 2 more times today.
The right-handed batter is 342 with 5 home runs against him. Left-hander's 256 with 3 home runs. So he's given up 8 home runs already this year. In 41 innings pitched. Right off that instep of his foot.
Major league leader in home runs allowed is Zach Littell again. Here's a bouncer up the middle, base hit for Adele. Soler will be sent to the plate, and the Angels get on the board. It is an RBI for Joe Adele as the Angels finally get one across. Soler comes in, and it's 7-1.
A good swing for Adele. Into those 2 strikes, he's just making some good contact right back up the middle. By the way, just 110 off the bat too. It's unbelievable how hard he hits a baseball.
Walk, a wild pitch, and a single from Adele make it a 7-1 game. And now Shonowell will stand in. He has 2 hits, including a double. So he looks at a strike. Littell's given up 14 homers already this year. Eric Lauer's allowed 11. He was DFA'd today by Toronto after his performance yesterday, and all the others too. And he may have irritated John Schneider a little bit. Legend.
Well, that was a nasty one down and in.
You don't want the pitching ninja to be showing your swing.
That might get in there.
Yeah, that's one that usually ends up on pitching ninja. 0-2. And it's ball 1 to Shonowell.
Joe Adele has 2 hits with exit velocity of 110 miles per hour today. A double and a single.
Two and 2 the count. Still pretty light out, almost 9 o'clock here.
I know.
On the western part of the Eastern time zone, you get really late sunsets. Some spots in Michigan, Ohio, Indiana where you get 9:30, 10 o'clock sunsets. You kind of see the sun in the left field corner.
Right over there by the basketball arena.
Yeah.
Depending on how that's going for, depending on who's rooting up for who.
Well, I'm rooting against Evan Schlaf. His Detroit Pistons are facing the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference semifinal. Who would want to root for a team that Bill Laimbeer played for anyway?
Notre Dame would.
Just a good hard-nosed Catholic at Laimbeer. told he played for the Cavs, but nobody remembers that. Who cares?
Well,
he was a Piston, a bad boy.
Yeah, they were some great teams. They were really good teams.
Wave and a miss by Shonowell. That's the first out of the inning for Holderman.
Staying with that breaking ball against Shonowell throughout. And if it's down, that's the one pitch. It's giving Shonowell the most trouble, is that down breaking ball.
Oswald Peraza.
Swing and a miss by Peraza on a sweeper. Peraza wanted to challenge that, but there aren't any.
And he would have been right.
There's no technical foul for that. You could still tap your helmet without penalty. You just can't get the challenge. Roller foul keeps it 1-2. Yohan Moncada would bat for Rivero if Peraza keeps this inning going with one out. Barring a double play, he would.
He's got hit again. Already has a sore foot, ankle.
And now a full count. Peraza working another good at bat. Angels have gotten on the board here in the 8th. Still a ways to go, down 7-1. Each team has 7 hits now. Peraza cut through a 3-2 slider for strike 3, 2 down.
Is that quite a bit? It's a sharp break to it.
Pinch hitting for Rivera is number 10, Yohan Moncada.
So now Moncada hits for Rivero with 2 away in the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts for Holderman. As the catcher Fry goes out to talk to Holderman about the new hitter.
Moncada with 12 career home runs against the Guardians.
Typically see that with a pinch hitter. Pitchers meetings, basically they cover the starting lineup and have a little scouting report review whenever a pinch hitter comes out.
I would just say, hey, just put the right fingers down. We're all right.
I'd love to see them just get rid of the catcher mound visits altogether. You know, the pitching coach can be allowed still. Maybe take down the mound visits even more and make them only the pitching coach or the manager. Or don't have any. I've seen some people say just don't have any mound visits. Just figure it out.
Just go figure it out.
You didn't like mound visits anyway.
No. None. Anyone. Catcher or pitching coach or manager. Manager usually meant you were out.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Moncada. Big fastball there from Holderman at 97.
Or a pitching coach who could out. Throw strikes. Babe Ruth is dead. I go, look who's on deck. It's Mark McGwire. He goes, yeah, all right. Hey, you got a point. Good luck. Go get him.
It's a call, 3rd strike.
Moncada wants to challenge it, but it's not going to go that way. But
3 straight strikeouts after the RBI hit by Joe Adell, and it is 7-1. There is Omar Martinez behind the plate for the Angels here in the bottom of the 8th. It is 7-1. Alek Manoah has been out there since the 4th inning, logging a starter's worth of innings. Kind of a backward managed game from the Angels in the standpoint of how they utilized their pitchers today, used their relievers at the beginning of the game, and using essentially their starter for the last part of the game. Well, it didn't work, and with this bullpen, the Angels have had issues at the ends of games usually, and that reared its head in the beginning of the game today, with the Guardians scoring 7 runs in the first 3 innings against 3 relievers. Well, Manoah has kept the Guardians off the board ever since, as Ramirez taps out to Shanawa. One out here in the 8th inning. It's 4 1/3 scoreless innings for Manoah on 86 pitches. He's worked around 5 walks, a couple of strikeouts. He's allowed 2 hits. At the very least, an encouraging step forward in terms of just being available to pitch this long in a game. As Hoskins lines out to Grissom, who stretches out for the 2nd out of the inning.
But even that one, he's out in front on a changeup.
Angels Live postgame presented by Kia coming up. Well, Alek Manoah said that pitching after Tommy John surgery is like getting used to a rental car the first time you drive it. Well, maybe as time goes on here, though, he'll start to feel comfortable again with his own arm and his own elbow. And, 5 innings in a big league game could help that go a long way for Manoah.
Yeah, and more trust with his fastball, because that'll set up his secondary pitches, which are solid. But he needs that fastball to be where it has been in the past. He's not that far away. He's done a nice job of mixing and matching here today. I do love that extension, though.
There's a liner to the right field corner, foul by Manzardo. He's at least given the Angels some length here tonight. I mean, he entered when it was already 7-0. There was nothing he could do about the score. It was already lopsided when he came into the game. He has done his part tonight and been able to eat up the rest of the innings and keep Cleveland off the board the rest of the night. This will be his 90th pitch.
I just ran into Carlos Baerga, and he said, why didn't you go ahead and just start Alek Manoah in this thing? Because when you think about it, the reason why you do that often is you want to negate those left-handed batters against it. But his best pitch right now is his changeup, which plays perfectly against left-handed batters.
Well, a bullpen game with this bullpen did not end up being a very good recipe. But Alek Manoah did go 5 scoreless innings in relief. Well, Alek Manoah turns into a nice story for the Angels today. 5 shutout innings, allowed 2 hits, worked around 5 free passes, and was able to have an elongated outing as a big leaguer for the first time in over 700 days.
Yeah, through 91 pitches here, that gives you a chance to be able to stretch out further if you want to go put him back in that starting role. But overall, I really like this changeup slider, and that fastball will become a bigger player as he gets more and more confidence. The Toyota player of the game.
Let's see what the plan is for Manoah moving forward. As Peyton Paulette is the new pitcher for Cleveland, Rule 5 pickup. Facing Josh Lowe leading off here in the top of the 9th inning. See Walbert Urania on the mound against Ciccone tomorrow night. Day game Wednesday. Reed Detmers and Parker Messick, who's been very good in his rookie year for Cleveland.
Looking forward to that changeup. We talked about the Guardians having a tough time with a changeup, and Rainey has one of the best already in the game.
Line base hit for Josh Lowe. Angels would like to see a lot more than that from Lowe. If he can start piling up some base hits and secure that left field spot for them, that would be important for this team.
Boy, that was a nice short compact swing right there, Wayne.
He says he feels like his swing is getting closer, and that looked pretty good on that line drive single.
A slow curveball the pitch before at 80. It was about a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He's short and hits it, lines it right back up the middle.
Zach Neto with a base hit his last time as he takes ball one from Paulette. Angels have actually out-hit the Guardians now, but can't make up for the 10 walks issued by Angels pitchers in this one. Chop to Ramirez at third, gets it to second for one. That's all Cleveland will get. One out. Trout will be the batter.
Los Angeles, the center fielder, number 27, Mike Trout.
Baltimore hung on to beat the Yankees 3-2 after getting no hit through the first 6 innings. Kobe Mayo's home run, the difference maker for the Orioles. It's 3 straight losses now for the Yankees, including some games getting away from them late. The Rays still up 7-3 on Toronto. That game's in the 6th.
Barcher back on the IL for the Jays too.
Dodgers and Giants play tonight. Roki Sasaki against Trevor McDonald. We'll start in about an hour in LA. 1 ball, 1 strike on Trout. Or they're 1-2 now after that. That's a called strike 3. As Paulette strikes out the future Hall of Famer, 2 outs.
Yeah, after he got him to chase a slider, he threw him right on the outside corner. And that sequence from a curveball and a slider.
Grissom 0 for 4, hitting to a double play in the 6th inning, lined out, the bases loaded in the 7th. The Angels got their only run in the 8th inning when Joe Adell drove in Soler. Now he's 2 balls and no strikes on Grissom as Neto advances to second base. Defensive indifference.
Looking on, he worked a walk and a hit today, but a couple punch outs too.
Angels will be just 4-28 in their last 32 games here.
I think one of those games, if I'm not correct, or maybe correct, was in Milwaukee, but it was against the Guardians, but they had to move the game to Milwaukee, I thought, for some snow.
In the last 32,
yeah.
Could be. One of them was the Little League game, actually, so not all of them have been in this ballpark. There's a liner base hit for Grissom. Neto will come home, so the Angels get one more run here. It is 7-2 and an RBI for Vaughn Grissom.
Another good swing for Grissom. Give him now 10 RBIs on the season. Curveball that stayed in the middle part of the plate. He lines it. Hit it hard. Picks up an RBI single.
The Angels have scored now in back-to-back innings as Soler's out in front of that. No balls and 1 strike. Joey Cantillo will get the win. It'll be his 3rd of the year. 6 shutout innings from him today. Suter, the pitcher of record for the Angels at this point. The bouncer to first should end it. Manzardo has that, and the Guardians scoring 7 runs in the first 3 innings. Beat the Angels tonight 7-2.
Yeah, another tough one here in this ballpark for the Halos. The Guardians did a good job as far as making some contact, some soft contact, but all those walks resulted in some runs for them, and they win another one against the Halos here in Cleveland.
So the Angels now 1-3 on this road trip. Still 2 more here in Cleveland. We'll be back to wrap this one up.
Power to do.
7-2 the final in Cleveland tonight. Angels will try to even up this series at a game apiece tomorrow. It'll be another 3 o'clock Pacific start with Angels Live pregame beginning at 2:30. Coming up next, Angels Live postgame with Gooby and Erica. For them, I'm Wayne Randazzo saying goodnight from Cleveland, where the Guardians beat the Angels 7-2.